things were really good, and it was scary. And then once, we chose to go our own paths with lawyers get involved, then you really learn what an operating agreement is. And
I think that's the thing that people aren't willing to do is take that pay cut or that year of eating shit, as Gary Vee would say, to just live
that
your
year,
dream
that
or
years, because it could take
years.
years.
Sometimes
it's just
a
relationship is like you gotta put work into it.
Yeah.
Just like a friendship. If you miss a homie, you can call him. You gotta put that effort. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Romantic relationships are something else, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like, if they don't. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. What is Gucci Manucci's? Welcome to the Half Court Podcast. My name is Darwin. I got AV behind the camera. And today we got KC. And we also got the whole squad in the bag. You know what I'm saying? We got Roy, one time for the one time. And we got Alex, you know what I'm saying? So let's get this rolling, man. It might be a wild one, so embrace yourself. But hey, man, appreciate you guys for taking the time. So let's just talk about what you're doing. Let's go from there, man.
Yeah, bro. So Roy, I seen the podcast when you guys did it with Heck and Roy.
Epic. One of my favorites.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah, man, I've known these guys 7 years. I've been in OKC about 8. Where
are you from?
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Different kind of story. Grew up, ended up joining the Navy. I was in the Navy 4 years. Got to see the world a little bit, travel. Got out, went to school. Didn't really vibe with school. Wanted to go for school for business. Got an internship in Oklahoma. Internship worked out. Work a lot with casinos and tribes here, and then from there, it kind of developed into entrepreneurship, owning businesses, and that kind of stuff. So it's been cool. Oklahoma City's become home.
Yeah. It's a chill place, huh?
Yeah.
So you have multiple businesses and stuff?
Yeah. So primarily what kind of got me going was working with the Chickasaws, the Choctaws, the company I worked with. They have a model where they lease the slot machine to the casino. So instead of the casino providing their own capital to purchase the equipment, they come in and they lease it. They provide the service, the maintenance, so there's no overhead to the tribe. So the model kind of was successful. I learned a lot about it. They weren't really working with a lot of the other tribes in the state. So low-hanging fruit, smaller casinos. So I met a business partner, and that kind of got me into business. And it was like, I didn't know anything, man. I was YouTube University. Anytime I had trials and tribulations, I looked to guys like Gary Vee, Mark Cuban, like always scouring the internet for advice.
From the entrepreneurs, the big boys, the millionaires over there.
And what are you doing exactly with the casino stuff? Like, are you you're a sales rep, or what are you doing?
So now, when I transitioned out of Gaming Capital Group as the company, when I transitioned out of them and started my own company and met a business partner, we were in business for they're still in business today, Dynamic Gaming Solutions. So I was the founding partner with this guy, Mark Larson. And end of 2018, December, we decided to split ways, parted from him. I actually went back to the original company I used to work for, and they made a big move in the market where they bought 2 major manufacturers and the rights to that product. So they're now going to work with every casino in Oklahoma. So I'm like, hey, I got these relationships. We consult. We kind of negotiated a consulting agreement, and I broker the deals between them and the company. So that was like the transition from owning something, having employees, overhead, to now it's a little more simpler where I'm just focusing on the overall transaction of how many games are they going to lease to them? Are they going to provide capital to them up front? What does the tribe need? Where do they want to build a gas station? Do they want to add machines to the floor? So that kind of stuff.
So you started as like leasing casino slots to...
So I actually started wheeling the games in the back, bro, on the truck. They gave me an internship where they kind of explained the overall business to me. And credit to Roland Miller. He's one of my biggest mentors. He's a family friend. He's like an uncle to me. We refer to each other as uncle and nephew. He's the one that gave me the internship opportunity, taught me the business. I spent tons of nights just picking his brain, learning how he saw the vision and what value that the business brought to the tribe and why it's a good partnership and kind of those high level things that was like really eye-opening to me and really kind of got me clicking. Okay, well, it's all about providing value. It's all about a win-win-win. And you kind of simplify the thing and you're like, you don't have to get so complicated. Are you providing somebody value in a transaction? Are they benefiting from it? And then you can figure out how to monetize it,
Nice. Because I would think like if I were to start a business like that, like where do you get these machines? And like, I'm pretty sure they're pricey.
Yeah, they're very pricey.
So it's like, do you have like a you had a strategy where it's like, I have this much money to invest in some business, and what route do I take?
So actually, it was this crossroad, man. I had just got like my third different kind of promotion within the company, and it was going to push me to like 6 figures plus bonus, and I was going to be a director of game performance, where I basically analyzed the performance for all these casinos that they would put me in charge of. That's at the time I met my business partner. I actually met him with some friends at Remington Park, and from there, I knew that there was value in the model because I seen it work so well with the big tribes. And I knew that the company wasn't working with some of the littler tribes. And I started to build relationships with working with that company. So my business partner said, hey, I know nothing about casinos, but I believe in you. So let's go 50-50. He said, I'll guarantee you a base salary, which was a lot less than what I was about to make, but I'll give you 50% equity and I'll fund it. So it was a crossroad. I had to walk into the mentor's office that kind of brought me into the business and say, hey, I'm really thinking about leaving and competing, not really competing with you, but just like focusing on what the market you guys don't focus on. He was supportive. Everyone at the company was like, why would he do that? That's crazy. He's already had all these, promotions up to where he's at. And I really didn't know my business partner at the time, and I kind of just took the risk, and it worked out. I mean, we made some good deals. He had the capital to kind of back it up, and that goes into a whole nother story about why we ended up splitting. But it was definitely a risk.
That was a risk, man. Yeah. When you do it with a business partner that you don't know that well, it's like.
So man. If you had it good where you were at, and it was such a risk to jump in, why'd you do it?
Because I knew my upside. So my upside at GCG was, I knew I was going to, obviously I got a director role now, got more responsibility, obviously more pay and incentives and bonuses, but at the end of the day, that's it. That's what you're guaranteed that year, and then you can hope to learn the business more. But at that point, I'm like, I want to own and I don't want to ever be at the risk of someone saying, hey, we just sold the company. We sold to a new, I don't know if they want you as a director. I never wanted to be in that. And I've always had that entrepreneur spirit. So when the opportunity arose, I mean, I've always been somewhat of a gambler in my life, and I just took it. And I really didn't think twice. And it was crazy because Roland was like, that's why, he's like, I like that about you. He said, you just go sometimes. He's like, and you don't think about,
you're a risk taker.
Yeah, you don't really sometimes you can't overthink it. You just got to jump.
Follow your intuition. We've been talking about intuition a lot.
Yeah, at this point, I'm 27, and I'm like, I'm in my 20s. Why not take some risks? Like, just go. I mean, if anything, I can come back and work just as hard. I gained these 3 promotions on my own, so I kind of played those analytics in my head, you know what I mean? But it was definitely a risk.
Yeah, that's how long have you been doing this?
Okay, so I moved to OKC in 2013, and I started Dynamic Gaming in end of 2016, but we really didn't make money until, I'd say, November of 2017. So I've been in overall gaming since 2013 when I took the internship. So now I've been in gaming about 7-8 years, but as far as owning businesses and starting my own and figuring that out, it's been about since 2017. And so through that, you learn so much. I mean, I went through, I learned through the growth and hiring people. Obed Martinez, I moved him out here, one of my best friends from Albuquerque. Moved 2 friends from Albuquerque. They believed in me, hired them on, moving expenses. Like, we're growing this thing. To all of a sudden, you and your business partner are at complete odds. And you're locked out of something you started, and now there's conflict, and so it was a ride for me, but, through that entire process, I think I just gained enough confidence and wisdom in that I understood a little bit of cash flow, balance sheet, what makes a business run. And again, the overall idea, are you providing value, and what does the customer or consumer get from, whatever you're offering?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So when it's like, was it you and your business partner, he had a different vision, or he wasn't passionate about the thing anymore, the company?
Was he on that sucker shit?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had a different vision than me. I mean, when we separated, at the end of the day, we negotiated. He paid me what I needed to get for my equity in the company, and we left it at that. And that's all I could really legally say, but it wasn't a good experience. He was a lot older than me in business. Yeah. He was nearing 50, and at the time I was 27.
Ooh, bro, that's a vulnerable position to be in right there.
Vulnerable, but again, jump, don't ask, You
didn't feel some type of way, like just the whole time being in business like that? Because I've been in positions where I do business with other people, and I'm like scared. I'm like, This motherfucker is.
You think they're gonna like outsmart you in something
bro, they've lived way longer than me, so I'm like, the whole time I'm just like.
Again, I'm on YouTube. I'm looking. I'm like, okay, we're signing this operating agreement. What's in the operating agreement? But we're trying to grow this thing at the same time. So I'm like, at the end of the day, when we come back to the operating agreement, and once we had our disagreements and things were going south, I realized, damn, why didn't I negotiate this point, and this point? But that's all part of learning. And credit to Roland, he went through a bad business experience in his early 30s, and he stuck with that partner for years. And he always told me that story. And he, at the end of the day, it didn't work out. He actually ended up kind of getting, screwed over in a way by his partner, and they went bankrupt. And so he's like, I wish I would have just stood up in the beginning, but things were good. So when things are good, you kind of just like, it's okay. Even though he's doing that over there, or I don't agree with that, let's just keep going because let's maintain. And I was at that point. I mean, we were so successful. We went to grossing $3.1 million after our first year. We had 600 games out there, tribal licenses with 6 different customers. Like, it was booming. It was booming. And credit to Roland. I didn't want to end up at 38 and say, damn, I wish I would have just, I learned enough from this business, and now I know I could do it on my own. I needed just a little bit of capital. Let's just end this relationship and move on. And I think that
instead of dragging that shit out,
even though things were really good and it was scary, and then once we chose to go our own paths with lawyers get involved, then you really learn what an operating agreement is. And the good news is, throughout that entire process, I feel like I got an undergrad in business litigation. Like, I learned a lot, and some of it's the hard way.
So how'd you go about getting lawyers and shit? Was it just people you knew throughout time, or?
So credit to this is 2017. We're just kind of making some money. A buddy of mine, Chris Murray, hire him. He owns Spark Creative, and they do something with Scissortail Media. They're kind of partnered together, and so Chris Murray introduces me to the Councilship of Entrepreneurs. So I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a COE group in OKC. There's about 86 members now. So, like, there's not a deal in OKC that goes on that no one in the COE knows about. This guy, Brian Clifton, created it. I've been in the COE group since 2017. I met him. Each group kind of meets once a month. It's about 7 to 8 members, and you sign NDAs, and you just talk about business, and you give advice, and you say what you're struggling with. So I got in that group. So I reach out to Brian, and I say, things are going south with my partner. It's always been my network that has carried me. And so the COE group helped carry me, met me into Chris Smith, which ended up being my lawyer, met with him, explained to him the situation. He, walked me through it, showed me the LLC, showed me the documents, and eventually through that and walking it through with him, I started to learn. It's credit to Chain Jones and Suddix. They've been doing my taxes since 2017. And they've taught me a lot about understanding tax revenue and tax legality. And even your business partner laying off the taxes on you. I mean, there's a lot you got to look at in the language, and it's all a learning experience, man. I didn't go to business. I didn't get a business degree, so it's like, it's really is just YouTube and, nose to the grind and figure it out.
Nice. Taking those risks.
That too,
that's one that I like to call myself a risk taker. You just got to do it, man, because I feel like there's a price to that, and that's like the reward. It's pretty big and satisfying. So it's like, I feel like if you look at every like millionaire, billionaire story, they did something that was a high risk. It's just one of those that you have to go and get it.
There was a point in their life where it was like, hey, what
Yep. And do I play it safe, or do I just go for this shit?
And you always see it's like that uncomfortability is what makes you, and you learn from, and being uncomfortable in situations and adapting to it and learn. And you really got to put yourself out there. And it's hard when, especially I know a lot of guys from Albuquerque, that never get out, never see. The Navy really helped me, bro. I was 16, wild, not to go too much on it.
Did it teach you discipline?
It did, bro. It taught me. I was susceptible to my surroundings. Growing up in Albuquerque, I mean, it's a tough place, bro. Albuquerque is no joke. I mean, it's just the per capita murders like Detroit, and I really want to go back and hopefully change things one day, and I hope it gets better. It's basically the South Side, but the whole city. And so growing up,
easy now.
Yeah, I mean, but that's why Roy.
That's why you relate, huh? You come over here.
They're all talking about going to Albuquerque, and they're all gonna come down and meet them friends, and that's the beauty of life, right? Introducing new people, and usually like-minded people end up meeting those people, and they're like, damn, I like that guy, So, but anyway, back to it. I I got lucky. Ended up facing an attorney general. His name was Richard Senna. I still haven't found this guy. I've been looking for him on Facebook. I called the attorney general's office. He retired, but he gave me a kind of a second chance. And then I joined the Navy, and somehow I ended up in rescue swimmer school, and I became a rescue swimmer. Coming from Albuquerque, like didn't grow up swimming or anything like that. So that was a challenge. I think those little things in the Navy, passing rescue swimmer school, accomplishing something for the first time in life at 19, 20, seeing the other world and going to like Dubai, Mombasa, Seychelles, and being like, wow, I mean, there's a brothel here? Like, this is how people live over here? Like, this is how they do things? Like, and you meet different cultures, and it really opened my mind. And I tell anybody that's like, doesn't have a plan, from 18 to 23, I had a blast. I traveled. The Navy, there were times where it was hard and you're away from your family, but you come back at 23 with a whole new perspective.
Right. And you get out of that bubble where you're like, damn, like, I thought life was this way, but no, there's a lot more out of this thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very eye-opening. I feel like, people need to travel to different cultures.
Did they ever throw you in the middle of the ocean and just fucking make you figure it out?
All the time.
Isn't that your biggest fear?
No, yeah. We were saying, like, one of my biggest fears, like, they throw me off of a helicopter at night in the ocean. I'm done. I'm done, bro.
Depends what sea state you're working with.
Bro, because it's dark as hell. I don't know what the fuck is under me. The ocean is one of those things where it's like, we don't know what's in the ocean, bro. Like, I feel like...
So how do you handle a situation like that? Like, what is your
don't they tie you too?
What's your mentality before you're about to fucking jump?
So I'm telling you, bro, I tell everybody the story. It's like, one of the biggest tests is... one, we have an underwater swim that's 25 meters underwater, and you go from one side to the other. But the other one is they take off your mask, they throw it down, and you're 16 feet. It's Olympic pool, 16 feet. So you got to go down, grab your mask. The instructor goes down, you put the mask on, and you got to go like this and blow out your nose. So the water goes out of your goggles when you put the mask on. And the instructor's got to look at you and see that the water level went down and give you a thumbs up. Gives you that thumbs up, then you got to go to the top, put your snorkel in. And once you get to the top, you barely can let your snorkel pop out, and you got to stay there. The instructor's looking at you. You got to use whatever thing you got in the tank. Whatever you got in the tank, you got to go, and the water goes out your snorkel, and you look at him and you breathe, and then you can come up. Well, I used to get flustered, man, and then you're wasting your first air on the mask here, and you're already holding your breath.
The anxiety and shit, that makes it worse, too.
So my boy's like, he's like, you always listen to R&B. Like, he's like, just sing, like, what's your song? And I'm like, bro, rolling down 95, yes. And like, once I started getting an R&B song, and the water will humble you, but you stay calm. You lose that. Scientifically, you use less oxygen, so you burn less oxygen because you're calm. Your heartbeat is slower. Muscles aren't using it. You're not tense. So once you kind of get that, and you realize that you can kind of outlast longer, and you get comfortable in the water, it gets easier.
How long can you hold your breath for?
I've never
because I know I've heard
that timed it.
A lot of people can do it for like 5 minutes. I feel like you have to train your lungs to do that, but I'm like, it's a long ass time, bro. Like,
well, it's all an art too. Like, I remember when we first did our underwater swim, I was just kind of going down a little bit and then swimming to the other side. My boy's like, nah, you got to go straight down. It compresses your lungs. He's like, so it holds your oxygen. You can last longer. So what you do is you go straight down and then you tread the bottom. He's like, because you're just kind of holding, you tread the bottom all the way there. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, it makes sense. So your ears pop, you know what I mean? When you go low enough, he's like, so you just tread the bottom and it compresses your air. You can last a little longer. So, I mean, I'm sure there's tricks just like that, exercises. But for the rescue swimming, it was just more like, as long as you can complete the task and the obstacle, that's how you passed. It wasn't like who could hold the breath longest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it taught me a lot, bro. It was cool. Yeah. It's different. I used to think at times like, damn, what's everybody doing back home? Like, what are my boys doing right now?
Like the missing out kind of thing. Like, damn, like, the parties and like the scenes and like,
And then college life, right? You're watching like American Pie or all these like, I forget that, Lampoon or what those movies are. But you're watching, you're like, I never went to college. I'm kind of doing this life. So
what's that show called that it's like a bunch of football players?
Blue Mountain State. Yeah, like that. We'd watch that on the boat, and all the guys would be like, and that's the cool part about the Navy, the camaraderie. Everyone's the same age. He's from Queens. This was from Alabama, Montgomery. Like, this dude's from
Everybody's out there trying to beat some walls.
But I mean, they're all different people, so it's like, it's cool. And then you start to understand, like, oh, that's how they do it in Chicago. Okay, that's why you like, okay. And it's cool. Like, it opens you up. because you're just used to your boys back home.
Right. And you did that for how long?
It's 4 years.
4 years, so full 4 years. Man.
So when because it's 4-year contracts, right?
4-year contracts.
So they on the second round, you were like, nah, I'm gonna go try some new shit.
Yeah, they came up, and I was always that dude. I was like, guys, all right, worst case, we get out, nothing happens. You don't think the Navy's gonna take you back? So I was always that one, like, they'll take you back. Let's get out. We can use our GI Bill, starting to figure out what the benefits are, weighing the risks.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, I'm definitely going to get out, see what I could do. And because you do get you get paid on the 1st and the 15th. You start to understand your job, your duties, and you know the Navy's got you, and you're going to retire in 20 years, you know? So and people do make it a good career, and you can. But I was always the one weighing the odds, and I knew I needed to get out and chase something.
Yeah. Do you guys think you guys can do like any kind of military for 4 years and shit? Why not?
I mean, I don't know. I joined the Air Force.
You joined the Air Force?
I would do the Air Force.
I got sworn in and everything, but I didn't graduate.
I would join the Air Force. It's just because it's a little bit relaxed and shit.
I got disqualified.
That rescue stuff, man, it's scary.
I can't get thrown in the water like that.
The water home.
I'm a good swimmer. But
Okay.
I'm not.
I don't even go to the lake. I'm like, nah, fuck that.
I grew up in an island and shit, so like, I'm a good swimmer, but throw me in the water, no ocean, tied up, I'm done.
So how long you guys had this podcast going? You were doing this in AV's garage, huh?
Yeah, started at my apartment, and then from there we shifted over to AV's garage, and then now we're here.
So man, let's go.
It's been what, almost a year and a half?
Year and a half,
yeah. So it's been the journey, man. It's been quite the journey,
bro.
man.
I love that.
This is episode 70.
70.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
70 weeks. Poop.
And that's what they say, right? Content, grow it, put it out there.
Yeah, it's more of being patient, man. I think sometimes we tend to stress a little too much when it comes to putting shit out there because it's like, damn, we feel like we can reach more people and shit. But I think it all would come at its time because we're putting it out there, you know? Yeah. And I stress. Personally, me, I'll be like, shit, like I'll sit down and like start editing clips and like I was putting too much into it where I was getting burned out. It wasn't
productive.
I was getting burned out, so I was
you start getting annoyed. It's like when you play a game too much and it's like, man, fuck this game.
So and the minute you take a break and you come back to it,
start killing
you're like, damn, that's how you unlock that.
Yeah, so it's like I was like, I just need to chill, keep doing the flow we're doing and not get to that point of burnout, because that's the worst, bro. Getting to that point of burnout. Like, I'm pretty sure you faced it in your business side of things where like, fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's next? Like, how do I fucking, you know?
I mean, literally when it all ended, I'm like, damn. But I was pumped. I'm like, we're going to start this again. Obi, you know, he fired everybody that I had brought on the company originally. So they all got let go. Found some of them jobs at the old company. This was before I figured out that I was going to be able to consult. I was just going to get that money and say, let's start it again. But again, it was that like, damn, I gotta do this all over again. Like now I'm on, but it also was that same like, come on, you could do it. Hell yeah, you could do it. And then I ultimately ended up working in the consulting route. And then I actually ended up helping now that I've had more of this time, you know, because when you have employees and overhead and buildings and something pipe leak, you always got to be on it, you know. But consulting, I just got to focus on my client. My client's good. I got time. So my stepdad, he was working for the Ramada hotels in Albuquerque, and he was getting let go because the original owner, they were super close to them. They took care of him. They sold to a group of doctors. Doctors came in. They wanted to hire his position at like $30,000 less. So he's like, I need to look somewhere else. You know, I can't do that. Can't work for that. So I said, Dad, you know a lot of people in Albuquerque. Like, I'm okay. I'm doing good right now. Like, how about I put some money in? And we get Obi to help out because Obi kind of got let go of GCG or Dynamic when I sold the company. So I bring him over and to this day now Obi's a partner, my stepdad's a partner, and I own part of the business. And they run it in Albuquerque, and we're like a heating and cooling, like more commercial facility maintenance. So since he ran the Ramadas, we got a couple hotels to sign us on as their like service side. So we take care of their HVAC, ACs. We change their filters in the rooms and the AC. So it's going good. And I was able to help grow that. We started that.
So you're not going to go look for a job. We're going to make a fucking job.
Yeah, that's right. And bro, seeing my dad, like I should have done this years ago, Mito. Like, hey, he knows a lot of people. And then they're like, Ed, you need to talk to this person. Next thing you know, we're in front of a GM hotel, and I'm backing him up. And I'm like, hey, we can do this. This is what we'll charge you. It's gonna be less than having maintenance guys on staff, and you got the knowledge of a guy that can run your whole AC.
It's wild, man. Sometimes our parents need like our push.
Exactly. That's
like my dad. It was a similar story. Like he basically was a welder his whole life. And then once we were grown, it's like, bro, you don't gotta buy shit for us no more. So just follow your dream, Right. So he's been doing good now. He just fucking building cabinets and kitchens and shit. So
I feel like with that is like it's that old school mindset of like working for somebody, So it's like it goes back to what you said. Like sometimes they need that push from like us that. Well,
I think they're so used to like they don't want to have they don't want to have like a week where there's no work and it's like my kids still gotta eat and shit.
100%.
But as like you said, I'm doing good. I don't need anything, so just follow. Like if anything, you just gotta find enough money to fucking pay your that's
how
it.
The conversation went. Look, I'm gonna pay you. This is what I'm gonna pay you. How about we try it for 6 months? If it doesn't work out, you can still go do the same plan you're gonna do and try and work for who you're trying to work for. So that was it. And I think with that relief, I know I'm going to get paid. I know Casey's done well. We're going to be okay. That gave him like he's not worrying about just making a quick transaction. He was actually looking for the big contract deals. And I was like, good, because you don't just need to worry about making, because he's like, we're not making any money. I'm like, don't worry about that. I know business. I know it takes time. But if you focus on that, you're just going to look for the tick for tat, the small $200 job here, $400 job here. When we need to focus on building a company. So, bro, it's worked out. It's been so cool. And seeing him and then Obi running it and now being a partner and owning 33% of it. I mean, it's been really. Obi actually went on the trip with us to Tulum. Nice. We talked about that earlier. Yeah. We all went to Tulum. And they know Obed because Obed lived here for about 3 years when we were with Dynamic. But, yeah, bro, it's entrepreneurship and just learning and creating. I mean, I went to West Mesa High School in Albuquerque. I got no college experience. And I just had the drive to learn from others and be open to criticism. And
how do you go about figuring out, like you mentioned percentages. So how do you figure out percentages? Like
everything's a negotiation. Like you really gotta, sometimes I gotta think and I'd be like, I remember there was a point almost where me and my partner split up early on and he actually asked for 51% of the company. And he was actually finally
51.
Getting ready.
Why such a?
Because he wanted the power. Now for sure I know he just wanted that power of voting.
He wanted that extra one.
Yeah, and I really had to think about it. And I was like, nah. I was like, I'm the 50%, and the way you're gonna get that money back is through me. So I got to stick at 50. And we ended up sticking at that and signing that. But again, I could have leaned the other way, and I had to sit there for a few hours and be like, hey, what is this whole concept? How did we get here? Okay, I was doing good in this industry, and now I see an opportunity, and I don't have any cash, so he's bringing that. So these two pieces need each other to exist, and it's really sitting down and being honest with yourself. And then when you come to the table like that, and in negotiating for me, I always just like to come to the table straight. Like I'm not trying to say a higher number, a lower number. This is what I want. This is what I think is fair. But everyone has their tactics. I mean, it's business.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting part of business is the negotiations, the saying the right words to catch your potential client's attention. Like, how do you do that, and like, what works for you?
For me, once I spent enough time understanding like the lease model and how it benefited the tribe and how GCG as a company was able to give, like for instance, the tribe cash up front for a contract. So now they collateralize the machines on their floor. We pay for them. So they have the machine costs anywhere from $20,000 to $24,000 a piece. So they're expensive, they're expending that capital. Whereas GCG told the tribe, use that capital you have to build your tribe, build the casino. So, that's what they did. Chickasaws built 3 towers on WinStar, 500 rooms each. And they used that capital to do that, where they didn't have to worry about buying the machines. Where tribes in California were buying their own machines. So they're expensing growing and purchasing their floor at the same time, where I was like, this is a great model. It's a win-win-win. And so once I understood that, it was like selling Red Bull to people that like caffeine, it was easy. It was like, I just got to be honest with the tribe, and I got to be who I am. And once it's not even like selling, then you become friends with them. Then it's more of a relationship. It's not even business at that point.
Yeah.
So I got lucky with the model.
Yeah. So as far as What brought you here to Oklahoma? What was it? Was it the Navy, or was it you just trying to be like, I'm going to try this spot over here and shit? Or
So I've always had this this favorite book, and it's called The Alchemist. And on my handle on IG, it's MacTub, because there's in the book, I like audiobooks, but they say MacTube. But the definition of MacTube is like, it's your personal legend. It was written. And so an alchemist always talks about your omens. It's by Paul Kaleo, and talks about like just kind of looking for things and following and trusting, like kind of in the universe, you know? And so I'm back home. I knew I had to get out of the Navy. And again, I'm telling all my boys, they'll take me back. You know, I got to get out. So apply for the GI Bill. I'm getting GI Bill. I'm getting unemployment. Just get out, get a place. GI Bill's great. I mean, GI Bill gives you like $3,000 a month, and then you go to school for free. So like, I'm like,
is that a military thing?
It's a military thing.
Okay.
So you serve 4 years, you earn that right to use it. So I'm using it. I'm going to school for free. And I'm like, okay, maybe school's going to be a little different for me now. Like, I'm older. I do want to learn business. I realize I got to take all these prereqs. I'm not even in business. You know what I mean? And I'm like really kind of frustrated. I've been back for a year. So being back with my family was the best part. Like, actually seeing my little brother every day and my mom. But I was looking for that omen, because I found that book on the boat. And my Uncle Paul, you know, he had Roland over. Roland was always visiting, because he always lived in OKC. We happened to be visiting. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to transfer to like another school. Like, maybe I just need to go to a big school. Shit, maybe I could walk on again. This is like me fresh out the Navy at 23. So I'm just jacked, like still rescue swimmer school out. So I'm like, maybe I could walk on a team, you know, something different. So we're looking at schools. My Uncle Paul's like, how about Oklahoma? You ever like OU? Like, you can go, you know, one more year here, and then you could transfer. And Roland's in the room, and he happens to say like, well, Casey, like, you know, and credit to him, this is a good person. That's why I'm always interested in others. But he's like, well, what do you want to do? Like, what are you good at? And I'm like, man, Ro, I don't know. Like, I think I'm good at talking to people. Like, I always feel like I can communicate with people. And we, you know, so I don't know, maybe like hospitality. Well, he's like, he has another company as well. It's called Tradition Spirits, and they own all the bars and restaurants in the Chickasaw facility. So Riverwind, Chips and Ales, like all those places are Tradition Spirits. He's like, you remind me of this guy, Brian, at the hotel. He's the GM there, and he, you know, he's in the hospitality. He's like, maybe you should come out to Oklahoma and do an internship. And, you know, if you do want to go to OU, I know a lot of people on the OU campus, and you could tour it. That's my omen. Like, that's my omen. Like, me and my friend Frankie had just got this new place. I had a lease on the place. Like, had to break the lease. Like, didn't want to tell Roland any of these things. I just wanted to take his opportunity, and I said, this is it. So he says, you know, you leave in 3 weeks, like it's May, so my semester's over. So I break the lease. I remember I go with like $80, and I forget the key to his house. He left it at my grandma's for me to take, and I by the time I passed Amarillo in my little Honda Civic, I was like, I forgot the key. And he doesn't fly in from out of business until Sunday to his house. And this is Saturday. So I pull up to Riverwind, because he lives by Riverwind, and I'm like, man, Mom, I'm like, I forgot the key. She's like, well, what are you gonna do? I'm like, he don't get in till Sunday. I'm like, I got $80. Like, I'm at this casino. My mom's like, oh. So I walk in and go to the blackjack table, throw it down, boom. I just bet it all right, because I'm like, I'll have enough for a hotel room after the 80. I'll flip it. I got like a 13, bro. I went back to the car. I laid down the trunk thing. I slept, bro. It was hot. It was May, so I woke up. It was all sweaty. I scrounged up some change. I got the McDonald's is right there. I got a double cheeseburger, and I waited till Sunday. So Sunday, you know, he lands. He flies in. He's like, he's like, Casey, you know, how was, you know, I stayed at hotels. Like, it's great. I actually read the mission statement for Tradition Spirits, and I understand, like, kind of what you do a little more. Made it sound like I've had the best time before he's gotten there. I've done my research, but I just was chilling in the car, bro, walking the parking lot of Riverwind until he got there. And then once I started working with Tradition Spirits, I started to realize the other thing that I had learned in the Navy, besides the Alchemist book, which was, I used to look at guys like Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was real big then. This is like 2012. And so he was always like, yo, you're the means of your 5 best friends. Like, He always talked about the room you associate, the people you hang around with. I'm like, yeah, you know, and in Albuquerque, when I got out of the Navy and I had all this life experience, I felt like I was always telling my friends, we need to do this, we need to do this. And I'm like, I need to be in a room where I'm the dumbest person in the room. You know, sometimes that's hard because you need to be humble to that. But when I hung out with Roland and his friends, I was like, I'm the dumbest person in the room, but I want to ask questions and I want to be like these guys. So that was the biggest thing that made me tell Roland, like, hey, explain to me more how you do things here. I was always asking questions. That's what he always told me. He's like, you ask questions the first time you got here. And I think that's important. I always tell people that ask questions, don't feel intimidated. And so he would tell me, and I would listen, and the relationship grew. I ended up getting a small place in Moore. It was like the countryside villa on 89th and I-35. So it's right in Moore. Had a girl at the time. She moved in, and I started working for the company, $15 an hour, wheelbarrow in the back. But I was the wheelbarrow in the back. Roland never gave me any benefit of the doubt, but he'd always invite me on the weekends to go to the OU box or go to a Thunder game with David Hatton. He's another mentor of mine. Met him through Roland. So once I started to meet those folks, I was like, I need to stay here. There's something.
You said, fuck the paycheck.
Place.
This is more about,
$15 an hour. It's not about that. It's not about, everyone in Albuquerque's like, he moved out there. Everyone in the Navy's like, Casey's working $15 an hour. Like, it wasn't about that for me, though. They didn't know. They didn't know what I was around. And so that was.
And I think that's the thing that people aren't willing to do is take that pay cut or that year of eating shit, as Gary V would say, to just live
that
your dream
years, because it could take years. It could take years, you know.
But I mean, I think like with him, it would like how long did you?
The Navy was the same way. It was all a journey. It's been years. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't just hit. You always see those kids that get rich at like 22, and you're like, I don't know if that would be good. You know what I mean? Because
I would have been doing a whole lot of blow, and probably my pee-pee would have been falling off already.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
right. Strong.
That's not. I don't think that's a good idea. And I feel like it happens for a reason, man. There's a reason why. I'm still broke and shit. Because but it's a learning experience. I feel like it's sacrifice because I'm at that same point, I'm part-time right now, and I feel like I manage a lot of my bills, cut a lot of my bills, and it's like I'm sacrificing like a lot of stuff because I see this vision. I see that there's more. Like I don't have to feel attached to a job to provide. You know what I'm saying? I can do more than just stick to a job full time and be like, hey, give me more hours. Can I put more overtime and shit? Because you can put a lot of like effort, time, and go the extra mile, and at the end of the day, you get replaced.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
That's what always drove me, too.
Yeah.
It always drove me, too.
Same.
But, I think it's also just, like... It took me a while to get out of the mindset of being, like, kind of like an employee, too. Starting to think, like, well, I just need to ask questions how this place is run. Because I feel like if I know how it's run, and, again, simplifying it to what service do they really provide to whatever they're doing, whatever process, however this business is successful, and starting to understand those fundamentals, which really, they all correlate to all other businesses, the same fundamental questions that you need to ask. And I think Roland's what got me thinking like that, because I used to just listen to him talk. Sometimes I go to dinners with him where he'd invite me with mutual associates or friends, or he had to meet a lawyer for dinner, and he'd just invite me. And it kind of, I'm sitting there eating a good steak and mahogany, but I didn't say anything the whole hour.
You're just
but it was
absorbing.
I literally just listen, And, they're talking to each other, and they're talking about what deals they need to do. And that was huge, though, just listening and understanding his thought process. Because his thought process was like a higher level, where I feel like when you've been an employee for so long, or even in the military, and understanding that you hit rock breaks, you take rock breaks to this pile. You know what I'm saying?
You're not thinking how the bricks were made, or how we're gonna
what's the purpose of doing all this and having us do this for the overall mission, and not thinking in that limelight.
Okay, so this question might be too controversial, but fuck it. You've been in the military, so why are we out there? What are we fighting for?
We are there to stand watch. Literally, that's all the Navy and the Army and the Marines is to stand watch. So to simplify it in another format, where like if I'm just working in the Navy, a watch is where we pull into a foreign port and the ship is docked and there's a pier. And in order to get on the pier, you have 2 guards in the front, right? That's a watch. So you'd stand 5 hours watch, hold your gun, hold your M16. Anybody that came on the pier, you would check identification, let them go through. Well, when we would go on 6-month deployments and the ships from Virginia go and patrol the Mediterranean, there's a fleet. There's 2 carriers, there's 6 destroyers, the fleet is just going around the Med. And some of it's a fun time. We're parking in Barcelona, the carriers are going to Madrid, and we're all in the Med, but we're present. And all the other countries and everyone around the world knows that we're present. and we're standing watch. So when that fleet comes back, another fleet of 6 destroyers, 6 carriers, they go out for 6 to 8 months. They go around the Med. They do what they need to do. They come back. We replace them. We're all just standing watch. All these posts that we have strategic. I think there's guys in the government that just sit in a room all day, right? And they got this chessboard of just cool, like Risk. You ever play Risk? I feel like that's the real thing, you know. But the Pentagon's got that, and they're just we're aware. We're always there. And America's always there to strike. So anybody in the military, they stand watch. And, you know, we need it because that's why we're free.
So
and
it's not necessarily like the movies where you just see motherfuckers blowing up left and right.
You know, when you got war, it's different. You know, when a country goes into war with another country, then you got a purpose. And then, you know, there's always controversy with what that purpose is. And it's real political, like Vietnam or Iraq. Right. So that's a whole different subject. But, you know, really what we are is we're just there to stand watch. And so other countries don't implement some tax, or they got ideas of how they think the world should be ran. And if we don't have that watch there to kind of show presence, and they teach you that when you stand watch at the gate, they say at the gate, your biggest thing is to other people that are trying to harm the boat is show presence. So they always say, don't slouch, keep your uniform straight. Show your presence. Show that we better not rush that gate, you know? So that's why the military is always trying to be sharp. They're always perfecting, you know, and they stand there watch. Yeah. That kind of simplifies it, right?
Yeah. You basically just got to keep the guns ready.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like that guy that walks into Walmart with his fucking hip pistol, you know? He's like, I guess, you know.
That to me is a dumb idea, though.
I agree.
Like,
yeah,
why am I going to show a gun and I'm going to be the first target if something happens? Like, those people that love to show their gun, I think it's more of a pride thing, in my opinion, because, like, you pull up, and some robbers pull up, guess who they going to shoot? You, because you got the gun. You showing it right there, you idiot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So how does that shit work, man, here in Oklahoma, the whole gun thing? Like, you can just, can you just carry a...
I couldn't tell you, bro. I know I got it on me. You know what I'm saying? But I heard it's like we don't need a license anymore, something like that. But I don't pay attention. I think at the end of the day, if somebody's going to shoot you, they're going to shoot you with or without the license. So stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know. But so you have your family all's in Mexico, New Mexico and shit.
All
and
in Albuquerque.
Yeah, you're the only one here just
Yep.
getting it type shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How often do you travel back?
Bro, all the time.
So
when COVID actually hit, which was so great, like I had obviously this transition period, COVID's not great, but when it hit, you know, I went back home and I was like, I'm not gonna get locked down in my place by myself here in OKC, got a couple friends, but so I go back home and just to spend quality time, because you get caught up in the chase. You get caught up in the success. You get caught up in little wins.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I've always kept my heart close to home, and home is where I end up, you know, being. But this last year and being kind of locked down and spending quality time at home was really, really cool. It really reminded me of like high school, because I mean, right after high school was when I left to the Navy, and I really been on the road kind of since. You know, I came back for that year after, but just kind of been gone. I always come in, I was sporadically, random weekends, surprise mom, you know, my sister. And I'm really like a dad to my little sister and my little brother. So it's always good to be home, yeah.
Hell yeah, man. So if you had to take anything from this whole business experience, what would it be? Like, lessons?
Know what you're doing it for, you know? Like, I mean, obviously, I'm a big J. Cole fan. You know, he always talks. One of the best songs that really got me, because I followed J. Cole from the beginning when he was real hungry, and you had Friday Night Lights and Grown Simba, and it was like all about chasing the dream, and you know, meeting Muhammad in New York, and getting Jay-Z to sign him, and then he drops Forest Hills Drive. And then he drops the whole album, and he kind of releases it in the way of his life, you know, with the Wet Dreams, and then Tale of Two Cities, and then him coming up. And then at the end, he ends it with kind of like Love Yours. And kind of meeting these people that Roland has introduced me to, I've seen folks that have money where they can buy pretty much everything they want, but they're sad, and they're not happy, and their life is in shambles, but they have all the resources. So I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, then resources, they don't get you everything, you know? So, you know, understanding what you're doing it for, and like, do you want business to, because you want to be, even if it is financially stable, that's a good goal too, and to take care of certain, but like, I think sometimes that goal could start off that way, and then once you find the success, it changes you. And I also saw that in, like, you know, credit to Roland. He always talked about his mistakes and how money changed him. And then when he ended up losing it all, it humbled him. And he was eventually able to get his success back and start another company at 40. But, like, he got humbled. And I think the world and the universe always will humble you. And you could lose track of what you set out for sometimes. And I feel like when I go back to Albuquerque, it always reminds me of, like, why I started, you know, and it takes you back to square one. So biggest thing I take from is, like, don't get lost in it.
Don't get lost in the sauce.
Don't let don't let the
and it's a switchblade sword, because you need to get lost in the sauce to figure yourself out and find the success and cut everything out. Everyone telling you this, that. Sometimes you need to get lost in the sauce, but then sometimes you get lost too long, and you know
I forgot who said it, but like money. Dizzy Wright. That's my favorite rapper. He said, money basically makes the real person come out of you, because whenever you want to do something and you don't have money, you can't really do it because you don't have the money. But when you have money, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
That's Rich Homie Quan said that shit too.
Did he?
I just seen that shit.
Kind of like a drunk mind speaks a true heart. Like, you know,
like
the mind sauce, so you can now you can get whatever you want. So your true actions.
Yeah.
Rich Homie Quan said it. He was like, when I was broke, I was just pretending to be someone I wasn't, because I didn't have the money to be who I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, so. Yeah. In a way, it can expose who you really are as well too. Yeah. So
and enlighten you to what's important. You know, thankfully I did meet those people where I was like, man, they have it all, but they're not happy. Well, okay, and I'm always a big believer in balance. Everything in life is balance. Everything in moderation.
Yin yang.
Not too high on your highs, too low on your lows. So it was like, okay, it's all about chasing what these dreams are, but also reminding you of what's in front of you today. And I think guys like J. Cole, you know, YouTube, people like Gary, I think all of them have good messages like that you can relate to. So it's also searching for that wisdom too.
Dame Dash said, you gotta make sure that you're fly and you're having fun while you're getting money. He's like, because I go to these executive offices, and these guys, you know, their money's getting long, but so is their belly, and their breath is worse every year. He's like, they look just miserable, man. He's like, you got all this fucking money, but
body, spirit, career, you got to take balance.
There's a saying that says you have to find 5 hobbies. 1 to make you stay healthy. 1 to enhance your creativity. Another one to, I don't know if you've seen that.
Probably find wealth.
Another one to find wealth, to make you money. Yeah. The other one is to get your mindset. Okay. And then the 5th one is spiritually.
See, I like
meditate, like all those hobbies are going to make you a better person. So I've definitely implemented that into my, you know, especially like the mentally and spiritually. Like I feel like with all the shit going on, the hustle, the grind, like you said, it's like mentally sometimes it can be exhausting. So it's like finding yourself. I've seen Roy been hitting the sack and shit, going hard, you know, working out and shit. So how's that been for you, bro?
It's been great.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, we got a reporter.
012.
It's been great.
Yeah, it's been great. What got you, like, let me get it, you know what I'm saying? And you're training with one of the best. Shout out to Saicedo, man.
Best trainer in the world. I don't know, bro. I just want to get healthy.
Yeah.
You know, I knew that was going to, if anything, that was going to
fuck you up.
Push me over the limit.
Oh, okay.
And the first day when I threw up, I was like, okay, I'm in the right place.
Shit.
I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it
very raw?
Yeah. Was it something like a wake up call where it was like, I got to get to like?
Definitely. I remember I went to my soccer game and tried to play, and I felt like I had cinder blocks on my feet.
Shit.
Like, no, but it was great. It's good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then what better trainer to have than somebody that's been there and then
Man,
wars.
Definitely.
You know, me and Casey been to his fights and shit.
Yeah,
you know?
man, Salcedo, man. Credit, that was the best fight I ever seen. OKC stood up for him.
Was you present for his little crazy accident that he had over there in Dallas?
I was not. No.
That shit is.
No, Casey's one of the responsible friends. He's not. He doesn't get.
I have my moments.
Man, it's crazy.
Casey would never let Roy go through some shit like that.
That shit right there, bro. Like,
yeah, we gotta watch out for Roy, bro.
Yeah, he's a rock star for sure. You know.
Tell us about that, man. How'd you meet Roy and all the Fading Up crew?
So at the time, I had two really good friends, Matt and Frankie, that I moved from Albuquerque, and I got them jobs at GCG. So I think I got my first promotion on running the database, and I got them jobs. Well, they were like, bro, we gotta find barbers. Like, I'm like, I know I had this one guy that I went to in Norman. Like, I haven't really found anybody consistent. So my boy Frankie's like, I heard this dude on the radio, Scissorhands, right? Well, now Scissor's a good friend. We know how, he's great at marketing.
Yeah.
And every OU game, man, you can hear a boomer from across the room. But he calls the original shops on 23rd, and Scissorhands Roy the phone. Frankie makes the appointment for all three of us. We were sharing my Ford Focus, living at the Harvey downtown. And so we show up, and every Thursday we'd all three line up, and Roy would get us every Thursday.
All three of y'all?
All three of us. The first time I sat on the chair, he cut me. I started
Welcome,
bleeding.
motherfucker.
Yeah, like, damn, bro. I'm looking at Scissor comes. He's like, hey, bro, he don't ever cut anybody like that, man. That's rare. And, Roy's like, I don't really cut anybody, my bad, bro. He chalks it up. But I'm like, this dude is so cool, bro. This is the realest one. Like, ever since that, me and Roy been boys.
What time was it? When you got your hair cut?
It was a thirsty Thursday.
Easy now.
Probably about 5
attention.
p.m.
He's stitching.
That explains.
Yeah, you've been there, huh?
Hey, yeah. You get the little scratch, but the shit is still fresh than a motherfucker.
Still fresh.
Strong as hell.
It's probably that blurry vision,
Yeah.
Oh, bro, and it's the best therapy. Every time I come in the chair, I'm just catching Roy. I'll be like, all right, what happened? What's the last 2 weeks been like?
It's a party, man.
Like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling him, this or that. So he's been along the journey, bro. It was when I was in my partnership battle, I was getting kicked out of the Montgomery. I couldn't pay rent because they froze all my payments to have money. I was giving everything to the lawyer. But Roy was going to let me sleep on his couch. So I was like,
bro, I slept.
That's a real one right there.
One day I got faded as fuck, and I slept on Roy's couch, and he was like, "Hey, bro, there's something about that couch. I don't know. You might be the next one. He's like, Hayden stayed on that couch. Casey stayed on that couch. So I'm like, shit,
there you
it's
go,
that lucky
bro.
couch,
Yeah,
man.
I guess so.
So you said they freeze your account?
So he was able to basically lock my account where I didn't get any disbursements. I was removed from talking to clients, manufacturers. Bro, I mean, it's all said and done now. I mean, I was sitting there with a burner. I had a lot of relationships where I was calling manufacturers.
So shit was just going to the ground.
It was going down, yeah. I had manufacturers stand up for me and say, I hear you, Dynamic Gaming is under a lawsuit. So the manufacturers stopped allowing credit from the company. So until you figure out and resolve your partnership dispute, we can't loan you or finance you games. So that was a really big chess move for me because now he can't grow the business and he has to figure this dispute out.
Yeah.
Because I think his whole goal is like, Casey don't got no money in the bank. Like, let's just lock him out. He's got to pay for lawyers, and the lawyers are the same way. I mean, I had to come to a point where I didn't have no money to pay my lawyer, so I had to say, well,
Yeesh.
How much contingency fee are you going to get?
Yeah.
And now you're like, who am I? Who's on my side? I'm negotiating with him for the payment that I deserve here, and he's now going to get a percent. I'm like, it was... So learning, you learn
throughout that time, what are you doing to cope with all this shit? Like, are you just meditating, smoking weed, getting fucked up?
I stay calm, stay smart. Your network helps you.
It's not about drugs, bud.
I definitely am a big advocate of weed. I think drugs. I think weed's good for people. I think it's a lot better than alcohol. But your network, always your parents, your family, they're always there for you. That's what I always lean on.
Have you done your research on the blockchains and shit? The future of crypto and shit?
Bro, so when I sold the company, I had all this money that I never had before, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to start a new company. Then this consulting thing, so I'm like, I'm going to get in the stock market.
Yeah.
Bro, I lost 30 grand.
I heard. AV mentioned that you into stocks and shit.
Yeah, so I've been in stocks since I sold the company in 2018. Well, I finally, my P&L from when I lost 30 grand, I made 42,000 on a company called OCGN in January. So I had them on my watch list. They created Covixin, which is a new vaccine for COVID, but in India. But it works on kids, right? So they partnered with Ocugen, which is this random company that they're actually trying to find a cure for blindness.
How the fuck do you know this shit?
So they're a penny stock. So
you gotta do your research. You gotta do your research.
Yeah. The sharks and the hedge funds every day. News is coming out, and usually they're ahead of the news. You know what I'm saying?
So I mean, where are you finding this information and shit?
How it happened? I always just search. I'm a big fan of Reddit.
There's
I follow guys like Wall Street Bets.
Right.
Like I follow Dave Portnoy on Barstool.
Pay attention,
Sports.
babies.
Yeah, you pay attention. You know, yeah. So you get on Twitter, you got all these outlets. Reddit is huge. Well, they were on my watch list because they were just a penny stock, and obviously they were finding a cure for blindness. They're going to blow up. Well, they started going up one day, and they're on my watch list. So I'm like, why are these guys that are at 60 cents? And now all of a sudden they're at like 83, which is a huge percentage gain in one day.
$83?
No, 83 cents.
83 cents.
But it's just a huge,
it's
like a 25% gain all of a sudden. So I see Wall Street Journal just dropped an article, and usually when there's an article, people pump the stock. So the article hits, and they basically say, and I knew enough about the company that CEO was from India, and they manufacture their cure for blindness in India because things are cheaper. Well, since India made Covixin, they picked this company, their friends. They're going to be the seller for Covixin in the U.S. They're not regulated. They're not a U.S. company, so they have to use somebody. So I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense from a business perspective. Now they're going to get this vaccine. They're going to get able to distribute it, and they're going to give them a piece of the profit for distributing it. That means they have no overhead, and their stocks can go to the moon. So right away, I buy 20,000 shares. And like, bro, the next thing you know, like there's a couple trades, and at the end of February, the stock ends at like $18 a share. And like right now it's sitting at about 9-10. So I made a lot of profits on selling high, got back my P&L. The whole time I'm listening. I listen to Gary Vee, Mark Cuban on the regular. I'm always looking at YouTube videos. They're heavy on NFTs, crypto, blockchain. Yeah. I'm like, bro, like let me learn more. So recently, I actually just transferred my whole portfolio from, except for a few shares. I'm waiting to.
I'll do crypto. I'm in crypto.
I'm heavy in crypto now.
Yeah.
I'm heavy in Cardano. I'm heavy in Mana, Decentraland.
That's my next investment because I have a Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then I was looking into Cardano. And then there's one that's new that is called MoonSafe. That is supposedly going to be also a pretty valuable crypto. But the blockchain, man, is crazy because they can't freeze that shit. Because they talk, you mentioned that they freeze your account and shit. With the blockchain, they can't do none of that shit. They can't track it. The government can take control of it. So I think that's the future. I agree. And as they keep sending out the stimulus, the dollar's going to keep depreciating. So Bitcoin and all these cryptos are going to be the future.
So it's cash trash.
It's getting there.
I mean, I don't
do all these dirty niggas with the shoebox money. They got to put it into crypto.
Nah, I mean, they're saying that's digital gold is Bitcoin. It's going to take over the capital market of gold, which is $9 trillion, and Bitcoin's at about $1 trillion now. But I think Bitcoin could get banned. Did you know gold was banned from American citizens at one point in the 1930s? Freddie Roosevelt banned owning gold. So and they changed, the dollar was now backed by gold. So they made it the gold standard. Well, when they did that, Roosevelt said no American can own gold. It's illegal. So I was like, damn.
So you think they're going to do that with Bitcoin?
They could. And India's trying to do it now. And that was a big argument.
And it's because of the lack of power.
So what you're saying is that they might make that shit illegal?
They could make it illegal.
So what happens if you have like millions of dollars in fucking... Your
investment starts to tank. But so that was one of the arguments.
So wouldn't you just move up? My bad. Wouldn't you just like, let's say they make that shit illegal here? Like
that's my answer to that is, and that was a question that got brought to me, and I was like, man, that's a good question. And so I understood that Bitcoin is what discovered blockchain because blockchain is Bitcoin. Yep. Well, now blockchain has evolved. So you can invest in digital gold, which that's turned into a Bitcoin. But I think what you more importantly need to invest into is blockchain itself. So now they have
like having a wallet.
Yeah. So no, not having a wallet. No. Like understanding the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. On Ethereum, you can build smart contracts and build transactions on Ethereum
because it has a different purpose in Bitcoin.
It's a different purpose.
Yeah.
So understanding what that purpose is, and that blockchain just basically is.
And they also have now the non-fungible tokens, which is your NFTs
that run on that blockchain of Ethereum.
Ethereum,
and then through certain.
I'm expecting Ethereum to skyrocket.
I like that, and I like Cardano because they also changed. So it used to be now it's proof of stake. But before it used to be proof of work, which miners could mine. You'd have a rig and people mine Ethereum. Yeah. They're profitable. That's gone away. So now it's proof of stake. And proof of stake isn't how many mines you have. It's about how many coins you can stake. Yeah. So it's interesting, bro. And I'm doing it right now. I'm getting 70% APY on a coin. Look it up, Cartesi, CTSI. So I have Cartesi, and on my coin container right now, I have 85,000 Cartesi staked. And they give you 70% APY for staking your coin because I guess staking the coin on the network allows the nodes to run and it proves the network. So you're actually growing what a blockchain is. So you need to look up staking. I mean, it's a good.
So how does a broke motherfucker like myself get into some of this stuff like right there?
Okay, so my simple thought process, because
like to me, I hear it. It sounds like I need like at least some 10 bands to fucking.
Nah, not really.
$1,000 in the next 10. I really think. Okay, so how I pulled myself back, I was like, look, I love the stock market. What got me in is penny stocks, figuring out how you can buy some big gains.
Like I can barely pay my bills. How the fuck am I gonna spend on some?
100%. But what I looked at is I was like, okay, well, I 1,000. Obviously, you need 100x return to make $1,000 turn into something significant, right? You need those big. So I'm like, nothing else in the stock market is gonna get. I don't even care if you find a 20% penny stock and it ends up being the next Amazon. That's the odds of that. So I started thinking, and I looked at these guys like Mark Cuban, and what they basically are saying is crypto is tech 10 years ago. So 10, 12 years ago in the stock market, everyone was buying retail, oil and gas companies, and tech. Like some people were investing in Amazon and Apple, like small, little, people were throwing at tech. Since the last 12 years, tech has ran the market. It's been all tech. And so I think crypto is that now. And I think crypto in the next 10, blockchain is going to be the future. And in the next 10 years, that's what's going to run the markets. And I think a lot of retail investors are really just driving it now. But once hedge funds and that kind of gets in there, then your market cap is going to go. I think the whole market cap for crypto is like a little over $1 trillion. And Apple's worth $2 trillion alone. So when those investors switch over to crypto, and hopefully you're in early, I mean.
So what's up with the whole?
So you're not going to find that sky with $1,000 on any stock. So that this guy with that $1,000, hopefully, or the 500, the small guy, that you could really make something big happen with it.
So explain this to me. Like I'm basically giving you $500, and then, or not you, but like the whatever. Then how the fuck do I? That's just money that's like on a card, or I'm sorry, I'm retarded with this shit. Like, how does it? How do you flip it? Like, how do you fucking like? If you go buy a zip, you flip that, and then, how do you?
So like, how you buy a stock, and then obviously, depending on what type of stock you buy, you grow based on growth, or it's a dividend stock, and the growth's not as high, but you get paid dividends. Well, a crypto coin, there's a meaning for it, and literally what I did, bro, is I understood that blockchain and crypto, and I made that choice myself that that's the future. Once I realized that, I was like, okay, well, what coin's going to be most profitable? What's going to give me 100x? And bro, we have access to information, YouTube. You got to make your own judgment on who you're listening to.
Gotcha.
And you got to you live and die on your own sword every day, but chase the information. Information's out there. There's guys out there telling you these coin's going to be the next, this coin's going to be the next, but figure it out.
So if you buy a coin that it's worth $1 and you put $5, and let's say that coin skyrockets into like fucking
$200 a coin, $1,000 a coin.
You're going to make, like when you sell those coins, if you decide to sell them, then shit, you made a shit ton of money.
People bought Bitcoins at $100, $120, $200. And
then they
now
just
it's worth
sit on it,
one Bitcoin.
Sit on it.
If they bought a Bitcoin that was worth 100, just one, and now Bitcoin is worth 50K, bro, they've made almost 50K, literally.
Nice.
Yeah. So like, cause it's one of those where it's like, you need to like understand news affected a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like it affects the market, it affects the crypto and shit. So you got to do some research for sure. Cause it's like, it's not just by guessing. Cause at that point it's gambling, you know what I'm saying? One thing I've been into.
So it's not for you guys. You guys don't see it as gambling. Like whenever you go into
it, you got to do it. You got to know what you're doing. I mean, if you go blinded, then if you go right now and put $100 towards whatever crypto or whatever stock, then you're gambling because you don't know.
So how much time are you putting into this research and this
every day? It always evolves. Yeah, I'm on YouTube every day.
See, that's one thing with me, bro. That's
every day, and articles and Reddit, and I'm in Discord apps, and I found groups that like.
So that's kind of like your hustle. Like you're basically. You might be in, where were y'all at?
But you like that shit though, right?
I've learned to love, I want to be an investor now.
Like you might be in Cancun and
you still can check.
Made a club and then you just made some money.
Yo, 100%. What I'm into is the foreign exchange.
Oh yeah,
that's
Forex?
My shit.
Okay.
That's where I found like,
that's epic. You're at the club, everybody's spending money and you're like, ching, ching.
Turkey's currency just demolished.
So my thing is like, man, I was like, I've always been fascinated by the stock market and just investing in general. And it's like what drew my attention was like the foreign exchange. Like when I found out about it, that is literally like, trading against currency pairs and shit. I was like, damn. And you can literally do that shit anywhere.
So what the fuck is this shit that you post every day? The charts and the line graphs and all that shit.
So that's it's the same thing with companies. So when you look up Apple, you see where they moved, like in the year, how they've moved, how the price went up and down. What I'm doing is similar, but it's with currency pairs. So like the dollar versus the fucking Japanese yen, right? So I'm seeing where it moves. And the cool thing about Forex is like, you bet, like you see, not bet, you kind of like draw your charts and shit, and you're like, all right, the dollar's gonna skyrocket. And then you place a buy. You're gonna say like the dollar's gonna go for the buy. And if the dollar goes that way, then it's gonna you're gonna get a nice payout type shit. So it's like, it's one of those where it's like, you gotta do your research. Because if you go in, it's gambling.
And
once I have a back to fuck up, I'm gonna go to you guys so I can.
And so there's different ways to invest. You know, a lot what he's talking about is a lot of technical analysis, support and resistance lines.
Support resistance.
Some people invest technically, and that's more of a trade. And then some people are more fundamental. Fundamental is what's the balance sheet, what's the cash flow, what do they make, what do they pay in dividends.
That's the stock.
I think, yeah. Well, and it could be Forex too. Like fundamental could be what's the country doing, what's their state,
because the news have to affect it a lot.
So what you're saying,
and what's made me a better trader, I think, is implementing. And well, some say no. Some say just go on the tech. If it's on the support and resistance, we're all on tech. All I invest in is technical analysis. If it's on these lines, this is where I'm at. These are my indicators.
Keep it simple.
But I like mixing a little both, because sometimes you find that technical analysis that got you a good buy-in, but fundamentally this is a good idea and it's gonna go to the moon, and you're not gonna pull up profit lines. You're gonna let it ride. So I think you got to do a little bit of both, you know. But you find what works for you.
It goes back to like, because I say like, this is not for everybody. Everybody can eat off of the Forex, for example. Everybody can eat off of the crypto, but it's not for everybody. Like, I feel like it's like you have to put, you can't let your emotions take over, because you can lose the money and you can fucking, let your emotions, but you could also win it and be like, I want more. Greed can be a thing too. So I've learned how to control myself, and you have to put time, and I like it. I like
the homie dad. He's like, I go and spend my 60, my 80, and I'm out of there, bro. I'm out of there.
Yeah, that's when I go out, I set a budget, 60, 80, $100. That's it. But you have to put the time, bro. I feel like you have to put the time, and you have to like it.
With this whole crypto and stocks and all that, that's something for somebody, like, let's say they have a career. That's something that you can do on your off time to make some
side hustle, bro.
Okay, side hustle.
Because of tech and companies like Robinhood and allowing you to do it, it's opened this whole new retail investment. Actually, hedge funds are worried about it, because you've seen that the power with GameStop and everything else, the power of the people and the power of everyone having it on their phone, which I love. Even though there was that controversy about Robinhood, now they were they were the example. They set no commission fees. Everyone else had to follow, but then they ended up being in this controversy where they didn't allow us to. I lost money because Robinhood didn't let me buy more stock.
But what they were doing though?
Yeah, they're owned by Citadel. I mean,
they were selling your information. So when you made a buy or sell, they would send that information to the hedge funds. So the hedge funds would always be ahead.
Well, no, actually what I'm referring to is, so when GameStop, and there was actually 7 stocks, and I followed Wall Street Bets at the time. Wall Street Bets was like, all these hedge funds are short on GameStop. They're all short, but enough float is out, and the float is basically shares outstanding. There's enough shares outstanding out there that if we all buy it, they have to cover their shorts. Like if they can't cover,
because they're borrowing stocks.
Yeah, it'll squeeze. So he got everybody on board. Different influencer groups took their people, and sure enough, GameStop got stopped. Well, Citadel owned a lot of those short positions, and they also owned part of Robinhood. So what happened the next day was Robinhood said, okay, on these 7 companies, and it wasn't just GameStop, there was another company called CTRM, which I was really long on, and the next day it says on your app, and it says you can only close positions on this stock. You can't purchase more. Well, to me, that's messed up, because in order to protect my investment, us retail investors needed to buy more. So you're telling me I can invest with you, but now I can't buy more to protect my investment? Well, immediately everyone's faced at their house with their own decision, like, you can't buy anymore. And everyone starts selling. You start to see a big, massive sell. Well, Robinhood did that to the traders, and it was kind of messed up, because they were supposed to be the pioneers that came in and said, we're Robinhood. You get the idea of Robinhood, steal from the rich, give to the poor. You guys got no commission trades.
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
So they fucked it up. They fucked up the whole.
So
they went against what they were preaching.
They lost a lot.
Shit.
They're filing their IPO here soon. I'm interested to see how it goes, but. yeah, they kind of screwed it up there. It was messed up.
That's why I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't do all that shit. That sounds too stressful. If I'm gonna spend my time, I'm gonna be spending it on like learning how to fucking do a craft or me personally.
But that's a skill.
I'm not
though.
judging anybody, but I'm like,
But that's one of those where it's like
If it don't make you happy, yeah.
right? Exactly.
yeah, I couldn't do it. I
like
couldn't do it.
I look at it and like I'm not like I have stocks, but it's not like my main focus. Like crypto and like forex is my shit. But I see that shit, I'm like, it's interesting how it fucking moves. But I didn't have that much money invested. Like I can only imagine the stress of people that went,
Right.
you know, put a lot of dough into that and like.
Yeah.
Let's talk about credit a little bit, man. How important is credit?
I don't think it's that important. I think it's so stressed upon the blue collar worker that I mean, but when I grew up, it was a real stress, and it was like it got to the point where like people were just always worried about their credit score, and it was always and like honestly, at the end of the day, I mean, you seen Trump. He's gone bankrupt multiple times. His credit's probably been jacked. When you go bankrupt, you're obviously your credit's it's affected. And he's done it multiple times and still able to figure out how to get that money. And usually every time I was able to borrow money, whether it was the investor that backed me with Dynamic Gaming or us as a Dynamic Gaming group finding, you know, GCG actually loaned us $1 million when we first got into business, the company I worked for.
So
that's
let
a
me-
whole nother story.
sorry.
But I didn't need credit for any of that. I just needed the idea and the
Shit.
talk.
So what you're saying is that you borrowed large amounts of money without with a fucking 500 credit score.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, 100%. So like, but
It's all about the mouthpiece.
it's all about also taking risk. I mean, you know, I just feel like there's a lot of things that the way of living stresses the regular worker out. You know, we just went to Tulum. The best part about Tulum was seeing these things. These Mayans were so smart. They're the best astrologers out there. They had all this obsidian, these great ideas. They created the Mayan calendar. And I think every day it was either, okay, some of us need to hunt, some of us need to build because that's a way of life. But let's just think about why we're here and how we get out of here. And I think we're just distracted by so many things that stress us out as the blue collar worker that we don't need to be. And the white collar doesn't even think about those things. They
Blue
don't
collar,
need
white
to.
collar. Explain the differences for the dumb niggas.
So the blue collar is your average 9 to 5, right? He works either drywall, painting. My grandpa worked drywall his whole life.
Your
or a
8
moving
hours,
company.
you're gonna get
You're
your
9 to
little
5.
80, 100
white
bucks a
collar,
day.
white collars. Even your doctors, your lawyers, your business owners. You know, or growing up in trust fund families or families with wealth. And you know, I think a lot of the things that distract our moms that were having to work 2 jobs and worry about their credit scores and there's things like it took them away from them showing us experiences at a young age because they were so distracted. And I really, when I saw those, then I saw the Mayan and I was like, man, they're human just like us. They were our best astronomers at the time. Like, we're distracted. And that's why I always tell people, like, don't stress. Like, you got to make a decision. You got to live and die on it. But like, and it's easier said than done. But like, stress is the worst thing. Cause like, why?
It's gonna make
Let it
worse.
play out. The
Kills you
universe
slowly.
got you.
Homie Chino
Kills
always
you
says,
slowly.
I'm too rich to stress. And he's not rich, but he just says that himself. He's just like, I'm too rich. Like when everything's going to shit, he's like, I'm too rich to stress. Like, fuck it, you know, I'm gonna figure it out type shit.
Sometimes the world has a way of figuring it out for you too, man. And you just wasted the whole last year stressing, and it worked out fine.
If you don't break out of that pattern that they want you to live in, which is like the whole work for somebody and like retire, get this goddamn paycheck, get this retirement. Like, I don't. It just doesn't fit to me the way they were.
It don't
like,
make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Like out of 7 days, you're gonna have 5 days that you're gonna work, and then you have 2 days off. And you're gonna work for 20 years. And you're gonna fucking retire at 60 when you can't do shit, and you're gonna get a little paycheck. Like that doesn't make sense.
That makes no sense
I
to
feel
me
like
either.
anybody that's working at like a warehouse job or some shit like that, like they need to listen to some Nipsey Hussle and for reals, get that paycheck.
I think you just
and
need to
then-
think outside the box.
Yeah,
And-
what I mean is like put that money into something else, bro. Like something that's gonna fulfill your life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Fucking Mr. Hobby Lobby, whatever. He's already living his dream.
Yeah.
What's his name? David Green. Yeah, you know, and shout out to him. He provides opportunity for a lot of people, so shout out to him. But you should be
Absolutely.
putting that money into something that's gonna fulfill your life, and because there's nothing wrong with having a job. You got to have a job at some point, I think.
Right. But I mean, if you're happy, if you like the job, you want to grow, like yeah, that's for you type
Yeah.
shit. But a lot of people are miserable, man. Like a lot of people are miserable. Like
I've had people like the one thing they've always asked me is like, all right, Case, like, what's the one thing you could tell me that you think that is gonna help me in my life or whatever? And I'm like, honestly, the only thing I could really say, like really that you should do and you should really focus on is like chase wisdom. I'm like, because through wisdom, you'll understand what makes a good deal, what makes how things are a win-win, and through wisdom you'll be able to figure out how to monetize things, how to make money in your life, how to sustain love, how to grow. And so no matter what in life, just chase wisdom and always live and die on your own sword. But I feel like through wisdom, and I think you find wisdom through experiences, putting yourself out there, being open to talking to that guy that you don't really know if he even likes me, like just like all that stuff, and listening and putting yourself out there. And even if you get shut down, because eventually you're going to meet that person that's actually like, hey, let me show you this, and it's going to change your life. But being open to that thought of like, how do I chase wisdom? How do I get around wisdom? And I think that's the most important thing.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
If you had to go back 5 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
You could have both. And what I mean by that is 5 years ago, I met this girl, and we were like really heavily in love. And I always had this thought that like, you can't have both. Like you really got to focus on you. If I get settled down, I'm gonna have kids. I'm not gonna be able to have time for this. There's only 24 hours in a day. I'm real analytical. If I have a kid, I want to be a good dad. I got to spend 9-10 hours a day with him. I got to teach him that. Takes me away from this. My goals ain't met. So I kind of pushed love away real early. When I feel like at the end of the day, I think you can find balance in life and you can have both. Like, because there's times where I'm like, there's nothing I did all day, you know what I'm saying? I made this 4 hours productive, and I made it happen. But I think you can have both. So I think going back, I think you got to be open to being able.
I would say when you're starting out, it's tough.
It's tough, bro. It's
like
tough.
Once you got it on autopilot, it's a little easier because you're like, okay, well, shit. At least I know what I'm doing. But whenever you're like barely learning the grind and everything, like I don't know if I could have somebody that right there that's gonna like actually understand the fucking I worked all day today, but I didn't make anything.
And that's how I really used to think a lot too. But I think once I got going, I think there's never a moment where it is on autopilot, especially in entrepreneurship or business. Like, and I'm always learning, and I always need to know more, and there's always a different thing happening.
So are you still with that girl?
No. And I think and I think we went our route. The universe works out.
You're basically what is it called? Contradicting yourself there.
In a sense that, I'm learning. I learned, So I made the decision, but then now I think reflecting on it and the question Darwin had in a sense that you go back 5 years.
So you're like, you could have made it happen?
I think I would have made it happen. Yeah. And I think I could make both happen. But at the time I thought, no, I got to focus 100% on this.
Damn.
This is it. This is going to distract me. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
And then I read the 48 laws of power, and it said that there was one of the laws that said if to get rid of any negativity in your life. And at the time, I loved my girl, but she was negative.
She wasn't.
So I was like, she gotta go.
You're doing what in the garage? Nah. You need to be with me at the ice skating rink.
Shit,
yeah, I feel you, bro.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Darwin asked the question, dog. I just came through.
Shit. Yeah, that's a good question, man. Good answer.
Yeah.
But I feel like same. Like, now I could probably handle it, but at the time I couldn't have, because I had to learn everything. Like there was no way. Like I would make my calendar and it'd be like, edit, shoot, and then like on Thursday at fucking 6 p.m. a girlfriend for like 2 hours. Literally, bro, in my calendar I would put it.
You got it's
sometimes
a relationship is like you got to put work into it. It's like a friendship. If you miss a homie, you're gonna call him. You got to put that effort. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Romantic relationships are something else, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like if they don't really find a way, like as far as getting into like what you got going on and kind of seeing your vision, that it can make it a little bit difficult, like
for sure.
Like what can I do to better your business and we can all grow, you want me to market, you want me to run the social medias or some shit like that, I feel like that has to do a lot. But if you're just wanting attention all the time.
My mom and my dad, they've been together 25 years. And my mom, like, when we leave to work in the morning, I'm like, you have a good life, Mom. Because she just chills at the house. Like, she doesn't have to. My dad she just plays her role. You know what I'm saying? And my dad, he'll work 14 hours. And when he comes home, she's not like, oh, my God, you're not spending time with me. She's like, how was your
Happy
day?
to see you, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you want tortillas or you want pan? Like,
yeah.
So it's like she understands her role, and he understands his role, and they make that shit work. You know? But
it's a big one.
Like me personally, I'm like, you done lost your fucking mind if I'm gonna leave to work and you're still sleeping and shit. Like,
you gotta pull your weight.
Yeah. Gotta go get that hostess job at the Buffalo
funny.
Wild Wings or something. Shit.
I was barely, when I was in the Navy, I mean, girls, they had been starting to get in, you know, in the military. So it was that whole like equal rights thing. It was like, we're the same rank. You can swim too. Like, especially in swimming, like the girls were, I mean, you had to pass. But there was a couple girls in our class that could swim.
Yeah.
They made it. I mean, so I'm with you. I think it's changed into a marriage where back in the day, you go to work, she stays at home, takes care of the kids. And some of it's still the same way, but I think now, more days, with inflation and everything else, you need 2 working incomes. Blue collar can't make it on 1 income. Back in the day, the middle class could make it on the husband's income.
Or they would just be
now
cool with it. Like my dad's like, I used to fucking get paid $5 an hour, and I still paid for your shoes and your
house
your
and everything.
sister's shoes.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
You can't do that no more, though.
Hell no. Like, that's how much
anymore.
I spend on weed. Like,
The gap from the middle class and the rich has definitely, it's gotten bigger, and that's not good.
Yeah, it's not, because it's like the prices keep
become
going up.
fuckboys,
cost of
man.
living and like wages keep staying the same. So your average job is like, you got to think about it. Like, what the minimum wage is, what, $7.25, and it's been like that for years now.
I mean,
years.
even bro, if somebody gets paid, let's say
$10,
$11 an hour,
$11, that ain't shit.
like
That feels like minimum
you're paying
wage.
your bills and buying fucking like maybe a not even Don Julio. You're not buying no Don Julio, no $10 an hour.
Jose Cuervo or some shit.
Nah, I mean, you're gonna have to go with the.
Yeah, it's
That's the thing, bro. It's crazy. Like my dad tells me, he's like, I would make shit last. Like, just, I'm like, I don't know. I can't do it.
Yeah.
they need to do something. I mean,
Biden, $15 an hour. The administration's taking the federal rate.
but that's still even that's still not enough.
15, yeah, it's still not.
Still
but
not
it's
enough.
it's at least.
But it doesn't matter because if the minimum wage is 15, then that means that other shit is gonna start.
And then the
going
budget,
up too, right?
maybe the budget from the companies that are like, oh shit, now we got to pay these people more, so we got to cut. So now you're doing the job of 2-3 people.
You're definitely right. There's a ripple effect, butterfly effect, and some of it's good, some of it's bad, But yeah, you're right. No, you're right. There's gonna be those people that were making $750 though in a bum job where that business was taking advantage of them, knowing they can only pay them $750. Where now the feds are saying you got to pay them $15. So it's gonna work out in that guy's scenario. But you're right. It can go the opposite. This guy's like, I gotta let go 50 people this year because we got to pay more now.
Listen, you're gonna get a raise,
And
but you got to do
at the
this,
end of the
this,
day,
this, this.
But
like-
overall, is it better for the herd? That's how the politics. That's how they think. Is it better for? Is it overall? And that's where you get Republican views, Democratic views.
I think that's why at the end of the day, it's good to have your own vision and your own thing that you're working for. Because then at that point, it doesn't matter like what they make the status quo or whatever the fuck. Like that you're working for your vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think that's what happens a lot of times. Like, I'm getting paid $15 an hour now, so I can go get this Charger or this fucking
Hellcat
Camaro, or I can get in a nicer apartment. But if you're like working for your vision, you're not thinking about no fucking apartment you're like, okay, I can buy a new camera or I can fucking buy a new course that's gonna make me close more deals or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, so are you active on social media as far as like the business side of things, or is it not something that you really think you don't need?
Yeah, honestly, I've never really been a big social media. The only reason is I always like to keep in touch with like boys that were in the military with me, or like I love the fact that now, because when I was in the Navy in 2012 and I was in Barcelona, I wish I had Snapchat and I could have been like, yo, I'm in Barcelona. I tell my little cousin that I talked him into going to the Navy. Now he's able to do that with his friends. But
you're on Snapchat?
Yeah, I'm on Snapchat. Yeah, it's more direct. Yeah, more personal.
Yeah. That's the only one you're on?
Instagram, I'm on IG, MacTub89.
But at the business side of it, you don't feel like
it. No. We'll see. Well, it also depends what kind of business you're running. You know what I mean? With me, I just need to deal with tribal leaders and tribal decision makers. And there's only so many tribes and so many decision makers out there. I don't need to find a reach of everyone for the model I'm doing. But if I'm selling, Pez or trading things,
that's dope. That's a perfect example that you can be a money getting motherfucker without no social media.
Yeah,
because I think
it's not about that,
bro. A lot of
it's
people,
about the experience.
A lot of
living
people feel like they have to have social media, like,
And they sometimes are more focused on, like, it goes back to, like, when you travel. They're more focused on bringing in the people with them instead of enjoying what's around. Like, you'll see them, like, they'll fucking Snapchat the whole trip.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, did you really enjoy that trip?
Did you enjoy it?
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
I
put the
see
phone
that all
down.
the
Go
time.
fucking,
Yeah.
you know, enjoy your surroundings. Why you looking at homeboy
go
over
fuck
here?
some bitches, bro.
Yeah, and then you end up getting a gem anyway, where it's like, damn, that was fun, because someone will record something where you come back to it, but it's not
Bro,
about
I'm
the
raw.
post. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
about the
That's one of
post.
those where it's like,
It's
yeah.
so funny we got into that, huh? It's crazy.
The social media?
Yeah, like just like the influence. I mean, but like it's good. There's a lot of positives, and I love it. Love the positive part of it, but there's a lot of negatives.
There's a lot. I mean, it's one of the main sources, like main reasons that people are depressed, because it's a comparison thing. You know,
it's
it
like
goes
a
back.
dopamine. They
You
say.
gotta start dopamine. Don't get me started on dopamine.
Yeah, it's that dopamine rush.
Oh
Likes.
boy, I love that dopamine.
The likes are a thing. The numbers, people are very like ran by numbers, so they just it's a lot of shit. Like, I've tried to.
Okay, so my homie was telling me the other day, we're talking about just life and shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, so drug dealing. He was like, and I feel like this is social media too. He was like, first, you start selling the drug, then you start using the drug, and then the drug starts using you. He was like, and that's the cycle. There's no like drug dealer that he's like, they start selling it, and then they start using it, and then the drug starts using them. You know what I'm saying?
That's why.
That's what social media is too. You start using it, and then.
But you
again-
see, you got to be it goes back to like the good. You got to look at the good side, right? How do you think Pablo Escobar became so successful? He said, never consume your own drug.
But that nigga still got murked.
He still got murked, but he ran it. Like, this nigga was making like what, $1 million a day or some shit.
But again, I think, anything could be a drug. Like we talked about earlier, getting lost in the sauce. Like, I think, okay, you start entrepreneurship for all these great reasons. And then now you become successful at it. Same in the same story you just said. You become successful at it. But now all of a sudden you became successful at it and it consumes you. And now the process and you're like, maybe I am smarter than everybody else. Maybe I do have an edge on people. Maybe I do. Maybe there's something about me. And when you start making it about you and you think you're something special, that's when the universe will humble you.
That's when you get humbled.
And I think that drug could be even that. The chase of success could lead out nice, but then once you find it, the drug could get a hold of you. And I think in life, anything could be the drug. Eat too many Krispy Kremes, you're going to get fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything. It's balance.
Yeah, you're right. That's some good ass information right there, because it's all balance and how you utilize shit.
Yeah, because it could always start off with good intentions.
Right.
But you get lost.
It can go
Consume
south.
you. It can consume you.
Kicking it, bro. It starts out as a good time. Oh, we're cheering. Cheers. Next thing you know, a motherfucker's spending his last 60 on a.
And it's important
ting-ting.
to remember, because you're around this new social media environment, and it's like people hype you up. People don't even know you, and then you start to think you're special. And the minute you think you're special and you're better than somebody else, it's the minute you will be humbled.
Yeah. Shit.
And karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
Let
Well,
me
you
say
just gotta
that
be a good
again
person.
for y'all. Karma's a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah. What goes around definitely comes around. For sure. Good
It's
and
always
bad.
it's always one of those where it's like, always remember that you can, what you have, you can lose it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Lil
Like,
Wayne said it. What goes around comes around like a hula hoop.
And the key is, though, don't just focus on the negative part of karma, because there also is a good part of karma. And the universe will open doors for you when you knock enough, because you've been good in life. And I truly believe that.
And if you have fucked up, I feel like you can fix those fuck ups. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think there is those
You
people
can make
that
amends.
have like fucked up so much that it's going to take a minute, So you might have a shitty next decade because you've done so much fucked up shit the past years or whatever, but it's doable. Like you can fix your wrongs, and at least like when
too
you
much
die,
bikini and ass is distracting me over here. Let me go ahead and remove that. We're trying to keep it PG over here.
there
Leave it to
smiling.
Drummer Boy.
Look at no, man. Like,
Oh yeah, that boy Young. Shout out to Young Drummer. He always has the baddest little things in his video.
Yeah.
so what do you like to do, man, on your time off, man? Like, what is some of the
Travel, bro.
Travel?
The Navy
Man.
opened me up to that. Like, you gotta see the world. If you don't know what's out there, it's like trying, different.
I preach that
plates.
a lot, bro. AV's probably getting tired of me saying that, but I preach
Well, it's
that a
because
lot.
I didn't have my funds right, man, and COVID was
Oh,
going
100%.
on.
There's but
Puerto Rico?
Maybe.
don't know.
Man, you know, I can't go with y'all, man, but we're gonna have to try it out like later down.
Come on, man.
I think we should go to New York New Year's and watch the fucking fireworks pop and smoke a blunt right
You
there.
gotta make that
because you know
bucket
New
list, you
York
gotta
just
check it off.
legalized that shit.
Yeah. There's a
I
bucket
think,
list.
Yeah, I think writing it down in like goals, like writing your
Yeah.
goals down, because if you don't write them down, then it's like it's just a thought. Like
Yeah.
it's in your head, and it's like you can say it, but
Action.
like when?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
are you gonna travel this year?
I would say if I do in New York, October,
Are you gonna
December,
travel this year?
That would probably. Yeah,
It's gonna make it all that much better.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think I can. I got work and shit, so December, October is probably. And I'm gonna be fit. I'm gonna have the cuts for the sluts by then. So you know what I'm saying? I'm able to walk around without
He's
the
single,
shirt
ladies.
with the legendary
He's single.
tat.
Boy,
Yeah, you know
yeah,
what I'm
so
saying?
yeah, I do stress out a lot too, because it's like it's one of those where I love traveling, and like I got a trip in next month.
Yes.
Fucked up arm, but I'm making that shit
Hey,
happen. You know what I'm
let's
saying? That
go.
shit
I
ain't
love
stopping
that.
me. You know what I'm saying? So
I love the energy.
It's one of those. So travel's one.
Yeah, travel.
Do you have any hobbies and shit?
Hobbies? Man, bro. Honestly, for me, I'm always looking for however I can bring some kind of energy to somebody. Like I sat on the board for Big Brothers Big Sisters for a little while. Really always trying to figure out a way to give back, whether it's hanging out with somebody or finding some new project to work on. I always say project, but it's not really like that. But it's like, how can I help, somebody in my life right now or someone around me? Hobbies other than that, basketball. I play with the guys at Fading Up.
Yeah.
Nice.
At the league on Western and like second, I think, or the Hispanic league. Yeah, we got Alex.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fun. I like to play ball on the side. Try and stay at running. Love running, bro. I've always been a good. Yeah, I love just getting out there and escaping. It's a form of
Running is the best form of exercise.
Swimming actually is.
Swimming?
Swimming, it's easiest on your joints, so you don't really hurt your joints at all. It's super easy, and it's a full body, full circulation. Like, getting back in the pool for sure is something I definitely want to get
Bro,
into.
it's crazy because like I hopped on the scale about 5 months ago, and I saw 250. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, what were you at? Okay, so it's this big significant drop?
No, I was fucking fat, bro.
Oh.
250.
Yeah, okay.
Like I was 250
You
pounds.
said,
so
I gotta
was
do
like,
something.
And I was lifting weights, but I was like, this ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? So walking and running is what did it.
Yeah?
And it hurt like a motherfucker. I would be running and my fucking knees would have hurt. But it did it. Like, that's what got me back in the groove of like breathing right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think running, those natural movements like dips.
Yeah,
fucking,
bike, pull-ups.
What are those called? The prison fucking.
Oh, burpees?
Burpees, bro.
Yeah, burpees are great.
Burpees.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Where you at right now?
232.
232. Hell yeah.
Yeah, bro. I had a couple weeks where I indulged in
I'll see you in the morning, bro. You be up in fucking
5 in the morning, bro.
yeah, in that bitch.
Yeah, and you got to, bro, because those morning workouts get you ahead like throughout the whole day, bro. Like you're on top of shit. You're just
Yeah, it
Does
feels
it?
good because that's
Alert.
like I feel like that's one of like the ultimate accomplishments. Like when you go early and get that shit out of the way, you're
because
like,
look, you got to think
that's
about
a
it, bro.
big W. Like that's a great
You
way to
wake
start
up
your day.
and let's say even if you lift for 30 minutes or you get your heartbeat going for 30 minutes, like you're gonna be way ahead of like your coworker that just woke up, took a shit, is fucking still like when you walk in, you're
Yeah.
already gonna be
You
like,
feel
oh
good.
shit,
Yeah.
I already did 30 burpees, nigga. You barely waking up.
Yep.
I like that energy. I like that energy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I'm there at the gym by 6, and I wake up at 5:30, and I'm like, God damn, like.
Like sometimes you think about like, did I make the
I'm
right
like,
shit?
I'm waking up this early to go get my ass kicked at 6 in the morning for a whole hour. But then I get there, I go through all that shit, and when I get out, I'm like, fuck, like, I'm cool.
You feel good, bro, and then you see the sun
I'm
come
gonna
up,
I'm gonna get a little protein shake, a little breakfast, and then my day.
smoke a little blunt,
Hell yeah.
I'm way ahead.
right? Everybody's barely waking up. You're already like, good morning.
Yeah.
That's
no.
very
Routine
important.
is huge. Routine.
Exactly. Like having like knowing what's your next 5 moves. I feel like that's goes back to the Patrick Bet.
That's why I fucks with you, man. You listen.
Yeah, bro. I implement that because it's like, what's my next 5 move when I wake up? All right, I'm gonna go do my bed, brush my teeth, get some breakfast, look at the charts, and then go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then after I get out of the gym, what are my next 5 moves after that?
Have you noticed that the moment that you don't start doing the 5 steps, you start fucking up?
Yeah, you start like
oh shit.
you're just going with it type shit. That sucks. I don't like doing that. Like I know.
I'll stop
structure.
at the fucking 7-Eleven and grab a stick, and then oh shit, I don't got weed, so I gotta go. Like my steps are all fucked up.
Yeah, so that.
Yeah, like oh shit, this is -5. This ain't no 5.
You're stepping back and shit. So yeah, I feel like that shit is important. But yeah, do you follow the sport of basketball?
Yo, yeah.
NBA and shit?
Yeah, became
Man,
a
the
huge
Thunder's
Thunder
been
fan.
going dumber lately,
Bro,
Yeah.
Alexander,
Nice.
boy cooking.
Nice.
Boy cooking.
I agree.
Man.
I agree. Presti.
It must
In
be in the
Presti
name.
we trust.
Alexander is that?
That boy going crazy.
I wish you would have came today. I wish my boy Alex.
They got a shit ton of draft picks, so they should. Hopefully they capitalize on that. But man, it's looking rough for the Lakers, man. My LeBron, you know what I'm saying? LeBron.
Injuries, bro. Injuries.
Sheesh. Bro, let's talk about this real quick. KD had the opportunity to shut people up. He goes with Kyrie, say, hey, bro, let's make this shit happen. But now he has Harden and Blake Griffin.
Bro.
KD loves to be carried, period. I don't care what anybody says. Like, KD loves to be carried. Simple. You into basketball too?
And then he likes
What
to
you
step
think about
in.
that?
I mean, here's the thing. Like, obviously, like repping OKC, you hated KD like for like a couple years, and then he went to Brooklyn. It seemed like he was gonna, like you're right, like he seemed
Prove
like
himself.
He wanted to prove himself.
Yeah.
But I mean, he has been saying from the beginning, like he just wants to play basketball. His team, the management, the management just got like some good ass players over there.
I just want to play basketball, bro.
Nah, bro. He tweeted when the Lakers got, Dwight Howard and Steve Nash, and then Miami had LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. He tweeted like, now everybody wants to join the Lakers and the Heat. Let's just go and play basketball. Like I ain't moving nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And that shit backfired on him because it's like, he's getting carried again.
Sit down, KD.
Bro, it is crazy because the level of talent that this man has, this motherfucker can score on anybody.
Bro.
Charleston White said it best. He said, we all have a level of bitchiness.
I think what fucked up KD is his mentality. KD could have been one of the GOATs.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. This is what Charleston White said. He said, we all have some sort of bitch to us because we were raised by
But
our
keep going on
mama.
the mentality. Why?
So
like,
what?
What do you mean the mentality? Like
The mentality of like,
because like
man,
was it-
Mamba mentality,
was it
Jordan,
the
like,
He doesn't
mentality of
have
like
it. He didn't
thought
grow out of
ships,
his bitch.
he
He
thought championships were more important than anything. Because you're right, bro. He was a legend at OKC, and then he carried. Even though we didn't win,
so if I'm
He
a
was
player
soft.
of
He was
KD,
soft.
exactly.
Soft, bro.
well,
was
I
soft.
don't even know. Even
He's
though
soft.
he didn't win, he was still the star. He was seen in the public eye of like. But I think when he made that move, and it was like, oh, you went for a ring. You went to chase ships.
Soft.
When the
Soft.
ships ain't really what
Soft.
make you good to the public
Because
eye.
if I'm playing basketball and
I don't
you
even wanna
guys, you
bully
two are on the
KD right
same
now,
team,
but-
you two are on the same team, and y'all keep beating me, I'm gonna be like, fuck it, I'm gonna team up with AV and we gonna beat y'all motherfuckers. I'm not gonna be like,
That's competitive.
I'm gonna join y'all.
Yeah.
Like
and then
because
leave AV over here by himself.
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I had to pull a 187 on your ass.
Yeah.
Like it's that's where I think KD lacks of is that mentality of like I can do it. Like he can do it. The motherfucker can be the greatest of all time. Like he's definitely one of the greatest scorers of all time because it's like 7 foot. He can dribble. He can shoot.
But you're right. His
But
mentality.
the mentality
He didn't
where
outgrow that bitch in him.
the fact that you're this superstar
Yeah.
and you have to make burner accounts on Twitter to fucking defend yourself, he got caught. He got caught, bro. Like it is crazy. So like you're mentally weak because you let that shit. Yeah, he created a burner.
I know.
Like,
Yeah, that's right. That's
el
true.
papá, vale, yo me mato de la vergüenza.
He's got a lot of resources. That's what he's thinking about.
So
Well,
it's
You know
like,
what I mean? Like what? That's what he's thinking about.
Like,
during
he's
the
thinking
day.
about
That's so
answering this
crazy,
Bro,
right?
motherfucker.
I'd be making a rap song in my fucking. He has a whole studio and shit. Like, bro, why are you worried about what people say?
It's like, damn, bro. You
Or I
really,
would have moved to the Golden State Warriors, and then when people were clowning me, I would have been like, "Yeah, fuck y'all." You know what I'm saying? Like, stand on it at least.
Nah, he's
got more resources than the
now
Mayans.
he's stacked up, and they most likely if Lakers don't make any trades or don't bounce
But at
back,
the end of the day, all these NBA niggas are slaves. All these NFL motherfuckers are slaves.
they're slave with money, nigga. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
They got a big ass house. They got, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think? Because
there's a lot of passion with it. You can't take the passion from the sport away. There's passion for sport.
It's a goddamn circus.
Yeah, it's a business. And you have, if I'm an athlete coming in, passion for sport, but I'm involved now in this business, well, hopefully my Players Association teach me how to move in this business because I can get eaten alive, apparently. I would know that. But I think a lot of these guys still have the passion for football, bro. They still wake up every day thinking, like, I want to score the touchdown.
Passion for football, but
I want to score the touchdown.
But the owners of the
win.
teams don't.
I agree. It's a business. It's 100%. And it's a powerful business. The NFL stops
that's what I'm
movies.
saying. I understand when these players are like, oh, I'm unhappy, or I'm like, but own that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, I feel like KD would have done better if he just owned it. Like, man, fuck that shit. I didn't win what I wanted to, so I went over here. Like, it is what it is.
Give
Suck
us the
my
raw.
dick.
Be real.
You know?
Yeah,
be
probably
real.
people would have been like, fuck it.
And then that's it. Log off your fucking Twitter.
Yeah, and log off of your burner account. You know what I'm saying? So,
but sometimes we put these guys at a higher standard. Like, they're just kids like us.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are the same age at the
They
time.
just
I
wanna
know
smoke
KD
some
was
weed.
young, bro. Yeah, they going through their
chewed
stuff.
up.
We had fucking Stevie Clark on the podcast, bro. Stevie Clark was supposed to, like, be the next superstar in the NBA.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. He was a kid that just wanted, like, he
Didn't have the right guidance and, like,
he
was
just wanted
trying
to
to
have a
figure
good
it
time,
out.
bro.
But Steve will tell me this all the time. He'll be like, bro,
A 1-2, a 1-2.
now Steve was always talking about. He's like, when I go cut these NBA players, the young cats, he's like, they're just little kids that have a shit ton of money. I go to their houses. He's like, they're playing video games. They got girls coming through. They're living the dream, bro. They just.
But have you seen 30 and broke? Yeah, 30 for 30 broke.
Me thinking about myself.
It's a lack of.
And the owners don't care.
What would I be doing? I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. I would have been too.
I'd be
been
dead,
too.
bro.
I'd have been dead. I might have been dead.
It's one of those where it's like.
I'd be on some Lamar Odom shit.
If you don't have the right
ranch.
guidance, the right, like, mentorship guiding you, like, hey, you gonna get this amount of money. Like, look, give an example of NBA players that had it all and they're fucking like Delonte West.
Yeah, 30,
Bro,
30
that's
for broke.
why I salute
30, 30 broke.
I salute James Harden, because even though people are relying on him, he's like, nigga, I'm going to the strip club with Lil Baby, because it doesn't matter.
Hey, guess what? I'm dropping 30 the next day.
I might not, but at the end of the day, fuck you. I already got that check.
Rodman went to Vegas. He came back. He did his thing. Like, yeah.
Hey, shout
James
out
Harden has
Harden.
that same problem, man. He loves to fucking party and shit, but he'll drop 30 the next night. Like, shit. Why you talking shit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's why they need
And
a
I feel
coach
like that's how
Phil
it should
Jackson.
be. You should go out there and have fun. If you're already made it that far, like, bro, you fucking went through college, eating shit, sitting in the dorm, fucking playing the other version of 2K, like not the new version and shit. Now you playing 2K with your character in it, like, yeah, bro,
Hey, but
fucking.
some athletes need that. They need that. Like, what's it?
they,
Dance?
what they need, a little lap dance?
Dennis Rodman, he's like, he asked Phil Jackson, he's like, I gotta go to Vegas for at least 48 hours. But then he came back and balled up.
It's a lot of pressure and shit. Like, it's just like the high standard of, like, you know, all of us, we expect these players to do good because when they do shit, we're like, you fucking trash. They're paying you this much and you're not doing shit. I could do that. You know, it's like, you know, it's one of those where it's like, bro, we have our off days like Paul George.
Yeah.
They were calling him Pandemic P because he was so ass in these playoffs that it was like.
But, bro, when it gets to that certain point, it's like, it doesn't matter, bro. Like, you're already, like KD, we talk shit about KD, but that motherfucker right now is sitting in his theater room, probably getting a foot massage or some shit. You know, so.
Yeah, but you never know. It's always that you never know until you're in that position. Like we just talked about earlier, he might be in there. He has all the resources in the world. He's worried about a burner account and what people are worried about him.
What?
Like if you could sit there and you don't know until you're living it.
You're right.
You really don't know. J. Cole is always a big believer. You don't know until you know. You got to go get it to get there. You know what I'm saying? You can't ever judge because you really don't. I mean, like I say, I've met those guys with all the resources in the world and they're sad. They're sad.
They're in their
day.
fucking Lambo all sad and
Yeah,
shit.
bro,
with
and it's
a
like, so that's
fucking
not the key to
$2,000
life.
suit.
And the
That's
thing
not
is,
the key
bro,
to life.
that I've realized that a lot of times like that, that makes me be more, or like more appreciative of myself. Because a lot of times I'm like, damn, I'm a broke ass motherfucker, but I'm hanging out with these dudes that got hella money. I don't got money. The only reason why they're hanging out with me is because I'm a good vibe and I'm, cool and shit. Like, so that right there, like, it boosts. I'm not gonna say boosts my ego, but it makes me feel good that I'm like, bro, they could be hanging out with their rich friends right now. But they're in my fucking garage watching a Mo3 video.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're happy right now. They're not they're fucking sipping a beer, chilling, feeling good, bro, when they have a fucking $400,000 house. But they're in my garage right now chilling.
The one thing I love to always emphasize, whether I'm with the boys, maybe it's some kind of cool birthday, we're all at Mahogany or Broadway 10 or Red Prime. We're all sitting around the table. We're all eating our good steaks. I'm like, hey, always just remember, this is nice. We're all laughing. This is a great vibe. We're all eating these good steaks. But you don't think if we're in the garage and we all got paper plates and we all got CC's pizzas and we all got beers in front of us and we're laughing the same. Like this setting is nice, but it's about who's at the table. It's not about, we could be doing the same thing with CC's pizza and paper plates and having a blast, bro.
With some fucking Wingstop or some shit,
laughing about what he did last week. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. Like, and you always got to remind yourself
and
that.
see,
it's
that's
nice.
the fucked up shit, bro, that, like, when it comes to KD, for example, wherever you're clowning the fuck out of him. So that's why he's making burner accounts. Maybe, like, we see this badass relationships he had with Westbrook and Harden, but he probably never had that relationship where he can just sit there with some paper plates and fucking.
And you never know somebody's shoes until you're in them. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, that's one.
Hey, sorry, KD.
Yeah, we usually
Man, I know if I had KD's fucking shoe, boy. If I was KD, whew.
I know I learned that line.
Boy, I'm going
what is
crazy.
it? About hard work. Hard work beats talent if talent lacks to work hard.
Boom.
I learned that from KD.
That's
Even though he's on that soft shit.
yeah. It's one of those, man. We'll see. They probably have the chip on lock. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
No, I agree.
They probably do
100%.
because if LeBron and AD, they're not gonna do it by themselves.
So what is the New York Knicks that they're?
No, Nets. The Brooklyn Nets.
The Brooklyn
Nets. Which one is this
Yeah.
franchise that's like
miserable as fuck, trash, and they're the
Knicks.
Knicks.
Yeah.
The Knicks.
The Knicks.
Madison Square Garden. Like,
Oh, talk your shit about the Knicks, Darwin. We're gonna
It's,
send this bit to the Star Report.
boy, the Knicks are sorry as hell. I mean, they look good right now. They look decent because they got Randolph and
But that's like
RJ
the
Barrett.
face, right? That's where
They've always been ass, bro.
It's your
Like,
fault, Spike Lee.
You think it's Spike
your
Lee?
fault.
Spike Lee?
It's his fault. He
Spike
cursed
Lee's a
him.
sucker.
Ever since he called out Reggie and Reggie did him dirty, Spike Lee's bad.
Hey, he had some iconic movies, but he's broke.
He did have iconic movies.
But he's broke.
They got movies that were
Spike Lee?
Yeah,
Bro,
mention
yeah,
one.
he did.
Mention
Spike
one.
Lee?
Mention one.
He had that. It was like about Italians
bye,
and black
bye.
people. No, bro, stop playing. Was it Colors?
Well, the commercial? Yeah, but we talking about movies.
Spike Lee. No, stop playing with me, bro.
Jamie, search it up.
Spike Lee.
Google to know.
It's not iconic because I can name
Yeah, if you say iconic, it's like boom.
No, it's iconic, bro.
fucking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly.
talking about
Harry
Frodo?
Potter,
Talking about
fucking
Iconic.
yeah, Fast and the Furious.
Terminator.
Fast and Furious.
Well, Fast and the Furious, they need to stop. That's
Yeah, too much. Just like Rocky.
I think.
Oh, Do the Right Thing.
I don't know.
Oh, never heard of it.
Bro,
Never heard of it. Never heard of
it's
it.
an iconic song. It's an iconic movie. Do the Right Thing. It's like it was the first time that. All right.
Close case.
That's a sci-fi thriller,
I'm not
right?
gonna convince you niggas, but it was the first time that it was like yeah. Do the Right Thing. It's like the first time that like
Where was it in the like clearance in Blackbuster?
it's old as fuck. It's old as fuck.
Yeah. That's
But it was the first time
Sounds real
that
cap.
like
Real
racial
cap.
shit got put in a movie. Like that was Do the Right
He
Thing.
got game. That's iconic.
he got.
It was by
That's Ray Allen's movie.
right, but that's by but it's
No, it's
Spike
not.
Lee.
Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Spike Lee.
But was it directed by Spike Lee?
Was it
No,
directed by
Do the
Spike
Right
Lee?
Thing. No.
That-
Spike Lee. Yeah, he
Okay, that was okay.
Bro, Spike Lee. Come on. Man.
All right.
But
he
Spike.
got fucking whole ass 13s.
he ain't got no.
Game 13.
He ain't got no money though. He still be on that Kickstarter shit, like fundraising money and shit. I could never.
I know. it goes back to like the Fast and the Furious. Like they need to stop, you know, because it's what they're nine fucking.
Why don't you
movies?
just let them do their thing, bro?
Sometimes you gotta let shit die.
We're on episode 60, nigga. Chill out. We're on episode 60 with 200 views, nigga. What the fuck you talking about?
I didn't know you were a comedian because you got jokes. Probably when it comes out on Blu-ray, you know, probably.
Blu-ray? Who the fuck is still fucking buying Blu-ray?
Probably when it comes out. Bro, I don't like. It's just they milked it too much, bro. Because it started with cars and.
We got Vin Diesel getting shot at. He gets shot.
I like Fast.
Bro.
Bro, and it's like.
Vin Diesel, The Rock just throwing shit.
Now they got John Cena in it. Motherfuckers gonna be like.
No, Cena's in it.
Bro, the ninth.
Yeah.
John Cena is Dom's lost brother.
We got Toretto and The Rock fighting through walls. They're pushing each other through walls.
I mean, The Rock would definitely beat the fuck out of Toretto.
Any day, bro. That motherfucker's a rock.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
maybe like Fast and Furious 1, the first one.
Yeah, maybe the first
Toretto
one.
had it because he had that.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I'm saying?
He was stout.
But right now, no.
Nah, The Rock got him.
It got to the point where like these motherfuckers, the Fast and Furious 10 is gonna be in the fucking moon trying to get to Mars and like.
Hey, fuck it though.
They're
Fuck it
racing
though.
on the fucking moon, bro.
Bro, they're
Fucking
cashing out.
knocking down Elon Musk's satellites and shit. Like, bro. Yeah, bro. Like, come on, bro.
They're cashing
Fucking
out
fight
every time,
UFOs
though.
and shit. Like, the next thing you know, the villain is a UFO, like a fucking alien and shit.
They're not racing cars. They're racing UFOs.
Yeah, or they're finding Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying? Like.
But would you not do the same thing, bro? If you're like, if you knew that you were gonna drop some shit and you were gonna make millions.
But it gets to the point where like if it started like because it started as cars. I think.
Why
the
does
first
it matter? There's a bunch of garbage being put out anyway. So why don't we just have their?
But there's
shit?
like todo tiene su final. Like something has to get to an end where you got to know when to shut it off.
They should have shut it off when Paul Walker died.
Now when
Yeah,
the money's still flowing in, they're like, nah.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Oh no,
We're
their
gonna make
ratings have
we're
dropped.
gonna make a Paul Walker clone.
They're just keeping it going. But it's
They're cashing out.
Yeah, I mean they are making money, but it's their rating has dropped.
I
Like
guess the new guys, they can see it. They're like, oh, that's a good movie. But us that seen the original,
we're like it's time to hang it up.
what happened?
Yeah,
It's just not cool.
they got John Cena. Next thing you know, they got Hulk Hogan in the next one. Hey brother, let's race these motherfuckers. Like
All right, so I feel like this question is gonna be a half
yeah. Like
Bad Bunny and Anuel.
yeah, like come on, man. Like hang that shit up, bro. Like who we having next?
that music video.
Like JoJo fucking C Watts in the like shit.
Best WWE entrance. This one's for Casey.
Oh, I like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
That was old WWF, but
That's
I was
crazy.
like
It's
316, baby.
Yeah.
Ah, that was the boy, dog.
Man,
I was
that's
like,
a tough one, man.
man,
That's a
Stone
tough one.
Cold
Number two,
was so hard with the
yeah,
beard.
I fucked with that shit, bro.
God, yeah. The
I think that's
Undertaker
gonna
was
be
hard
one of
too,
the questions that we're gonna ask from now on. I'm gonna come up with a few fun little questions. Favorite WWE entrance tells a lot about somebody's personality.
Yeah.
So for example, who do you think is Darwin's favorite entrance?
Undertaker, huh?
Nah,
Kane.
Heartbreak Kid.
That was one. We had a top 5, but it was Heartbreak Kid was one like that.
Bro,
it was
when
like,
you
bro,
said that
you,
shit, I was like,
bro, tell me no.
That's what I'm saying. It tells a
Tell
lot
me you
about
never
your
saw.
personality.
Tell me you never
No.
saying I'm just a sexy boy. Then tell me you never, and you were like, ah, shit, there goes Shawn Michaels and shit. Like, come on, man.
You're
it's
right,
like with
though.
Triple H.
That's a lot of personality
It
right
is,
there.
bro.
I like
Like,
that.
I like the-
Yeah, that's
the-
fire.
It's like with Triple H, you would get the
Triple
fucking
H.
bottle of
Okay,
water.
I
And you're
can
like,
see that, Playboy.
No.
Yeah.
Bro, I used to not even have hair, and I just
man,
Y'all
it's crazy
a
how-
couple Playboys. I like
Man,
that.
it's crazy how the WWE like impacted like our childhood, man.
I'm gonna say
so crazy.
Roy is Ric Flair. Hit him with that.
Yeah,
Hit him with
that's-
that Rolex watch.
That's old school Eddie Guerrero, dude.
Rolex watching.
It's that old Eddie Guerrero.
Bro, I remember one time. I remember Roy was faded one day. He was in the back of the shop, like, bro. He's like, I really like Ric Flair. You're like, I don't know why, but I really like Ric Flair. And then you dropped the whole spill. You were like the Rolex watching.
He probably doesn't remember.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, I got a limousine waiting outside.
I got
How long?
I got one for y'all. It's probably it's a fucked up one, but it's I want to see. So, do you guys prefer to shit through your nose or through your mouth?
Wait, ask the question again.
So, what do you prefer to shit through your nose or through your mouth?
Like if
Shit
you had a choice,
comes out, yeah. If you had a
prefer?
choice,
No,
Nose.
mouth.
you damn, bro, you
gotta smell it.
you gotta taste it though. You gotta taste it.
You ate it. Yeah.
I would just do it like this. Like I would close my mouth, like in one.
Right.
I feel like it gets stuck.
You're gonna smell it, and that's
Have
probably
you
gonna
ever
cause
had
you to
that-
throw
Have you ever
up.
had that booger after a long night of and then you just it all goes in one hit. Bah!
Bro, I feel like the nose one is a little weird because like when you throw it all out, it's gonna make you throw up.
Tell him, Roy.
What do you think, Roy? What do you think?
Real difficult question.
So what makes you feel comfortable?
Hey, if all of a sudden you had to choose it, like, man, right now we're gonna inject some fucking that COVID vaccine you thought was a vaccine is gonna make you shit through your nose or through your mouth. Which one you want, bro? I got two right now. Which one you want me to inject you with?
Oh.
You're tied up. You can't do shit.
I just get it out of myself.
Oh man.
That's torture. I think that's torture 101. Man. That right there.
Bro, one time, I don't know if I should tell this story. I was at the shop and the homie came through, and I had a stomach ache, man, like a hard stomach ache. So we're outside, bro, smoking cigarettes, chilling, and then I'm just like, oh shit. So I go over there and throw up, like, bleh. Just throw up, nasty. And then the homie comes up and he's like, it just came out the wrong hole, bro.
No.
It's like, basically what he was saying is like you had to take a shit, but since you couldn't take a shit.
Oh, I thought you threw up and shit yourself too.
Oh, man, I thought like he saw some like shit stains or something like.
No, he was like,
get real
he was
raw
basically
here.
what he was saying. He's like, bro, you had to take a shit, but since you didn't go take a shit, you ended up going throwing up. He was like, you fucking, it came out the wrong hole. I was like, what? You're right though.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those weird shit, man.
Stories. I love
Yeah.
stories. Story time.
We went from cryptocurrency to shitting out the mouth.
Yeah. Fucking WWE entrances and shit. I love the shit, man.
I like it, though. It's
Yeah,
cool.
for real. You gotta switch it up. You got any crazy stories and shit?
I got a few, bro.
Cause Roy, man, I think Roy's still the winner.
Yeah.
Your story is fucking undefeated.
I think you gotta give me like a subject though. Like it's gotta be like travel, Navy. The more experiences you have, the more stories you have, right?
Okay, so Tulum. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Like, cause I know Roy just went through some shit, some real life, we were just laughing and shit, but Roy went through some grimy life things, and you guys went out to Tulum and had a good time. So
I
Yeah.
finally made it out of that dark spot that I was in.
talk about that. How'd you did
It
that?
was cool. I mean, I had my boys. This is my brothers, bro. Like, shit. Have people like that around you to uplift you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy that I have people like that I have around me. That, hey, bro, like shit. The way I feel now, I've never felt like this. Well, I have, but it took me a while to get there. And they see me like him, and even a bunch of my other ones. They see me, they're like, damn, bro, you look bad, like, you sad, you this and that. But just emotions you go through, shit. Ain't nobody gonna prepare you to go through hard times.
So what was that moment that you snapped and you were like, damn, like I need to really like, cause we were all kind of worried. So when was that moment when you were like, man, I gotta fucking, cause I know, you know what I'm saying? You were probably like, man, let me just smoke. Let me.
Bro, it's just like, shit, one day I woke up, I was like, man, I gotta go back to the gym. I started working out with Alex, boxing, and like, I had him and a couple other guys that were uplifting me, just went from there. That's why.
Hey man, bro, I hate to put you on the spot, but tell the people what happened and like what went on. That way they understand and like understand how to get over that if you don't mind.
I mean, it's just like life experiences. Like, I lost a lot of things in a short period of time. I lost my pops. There's a lot of things going on in my life. But my homies, like, they were there. My bros, they were there. business, you know. Shit, we just went down that road.
I'm glad you're fucking back, bro.
Working out, traveling, and shit like that. Shit. Like, even this boy would tell me, he's like, man, one thing I miss about going to Tulum is waking up every day. And all the boys are there when you wake up. All of us were there.
It's like a brotherhood. It's a.
Every morning we'd wake up and we'd all be there. Fucking. What if we knew their name?
Camaraderie. Yeah.
It's like, those experiences, like, I'll never forget those.
Those are the ones that like stay treasured in your head and your memory for a lifetime type
Experiences over material.
Yeah, exactly.
Any day.
Any
Experiences
day,
over
bro.
material.
Like I
And as a friend, Casey, when were you like? Because I know like a lot of us were concerned when your pops went away. Like we're like, damn, I hope Roy doesn't fucking get depressed. Like, how were you able to come in and be like a good friend without being too pushy or too?
I understand Roy. Me and Roy, reason why we're friends is because we're a lot alike. You know, just because I have things or however you measure somebody, like, doesn't mean me and Roy talk about going through the same things all the time. And so I was always confident because I knew Roy and where he was at and he was okay. But my biggest thing is I've been fortunate enough in life to see these experiences and reflecting on those experiences has given me knowledge. So for me, instead of telling people advice, you know, some people are always so quick to like give their two cents. It's easy to talk, right? But for me, if I could get my boys to see life, even for a day or for a second, to see life the way I see it, and you got to do that through doing it. You got to go to an experience. You got to say, let's all fucking go to Tulum. And let's all go and let's see what life's about, and let's be positive every day, and and you can tell people all day, but when you show people, and my biggest thing is, and you show people the way you see life, even for a second, well, maybe some seeds plant, right? And you know, and we're the same person either way because we go through the same stuff. Me and Roy talk all the time, like, Roy, I'm going through it too, bro. Like telling you, like, yeah, I know, and like we relate on the same things.
And that's the crazy thing, because like we go back, you were sleeping on his couch when you were fucking going bankrupt. Now he's going through some shit. You pick him up,
we're
and it's
going
like,
to Tulum.
And it's not. It doesn't even feel like, oh, you owe me one, bro. Or you. It's like, bro, we just
because there are people out there that give. I always say giving. If you give with expectation, it's not giving. Whether the expectation is I'm gonna post this on social media so I get credit for it, or I'm expecting you give me 10 times fold back. Like giving is only giving without expectation. When giving in a sense that like, I just want to do it because I want you to be with me. Like that true feeling of give. And so many people give with expectation, and I hate that. Yeah, it's that love. You know, it's loyalty. That's what I'm built on.
And then that intuition of like you said, like
knowing he needs it.
Yeah. And not being fucking, because for example, me, I knew Roy was going through it, but I was like, what the fuck do I gotta offer to Roy? You know, all I can say is like even if it's like, do you if you need anything, I'm like, fuck, I'm in the hole, nigga.
But
like,
bro, that's But just asking how someone's doing is the best thing you can do. That's caring and just wanting to know genuinely. That's
man.
Yeah.
Salute to you, bro, for that. And
fucking,
I'm happy that you fucking didn't sink, bro, because I was like, man.
Never that.
Man.
Now we're back.
But it's one of those, it's one of those where it's like, you know, one of your closest family members passing away. That's like, it's a hard shit, you know. It's a hard pill to swallow,
you need
and it's
somebody
like
strong around, bro.
Exactly.
And that's crazy. Like I respect you a lot because of that. Like I seen you going through your mom passing away, and I literally didn't like. We were coworkers, bro, and his mom passed away, and I didn't know. Like nobody in the company knew. This nigga still showed up to work, clocked in, and said, "Hey, how's it going, bro?" Even though his mom just passed away, and like.
Yeah, bro, that right there was probably one of the toughest things. And my thing is, like, I don't want to hear the word I'm sorry, because it's like, you know, having to go to work and knowing my mom is in bed sick and shit, you know, like, it was one of the toughest shit to kind of deal with. And I'm the type of person I'm like, I'm not going to let this affect me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to still provide good customer service, you know, salute the people, welcome them to the gym and shit.
And see, that's crazy, bro, because I couldn't.
Like, nobody
personally, bro,
that's straight.
Like, hopefully, you know, when my parents do pass or whatever, I'm in a bed. I'm a stronger man, but How old were you at the time? 20?
21.
So, like, looking at it, I'm like, bro, if my mom would have passed away at 20, me being 21, bro, I don't know what the fuck I would have done, bro, you know?
What age you're in when your parents pass away, it's so sad.
And one of the hardest things was not bringing shit from the past back, because I watched Inception, and it kind of gave me that thing, because Leonardo DiCaprio, like, in the movie, he keeps... Like, he's going on these missions, going on people's dreams, but his wife keeps showing up. And he always had this guilt of, damn, I killed my wife. But in reality, it wasn't your fault. You know what I'm saying? So I kept going back to, like, thinking about, like, damn, I could have been better. I could have treated her. That kept hunting, like, it would fucking hunt me at night. It would, like, and it was, like, one of those where I was like, I got to let go. I can't fucking go back and think about that shit, because it's going to fucking haunt me for the rest of my life, and I'm going to think that I'm shit, you know, because I know I could have done better, but I wasn't mature enough to do better, you know.
It will haunt you, because there's a lot of things that haunt me about me and my dad. Like, I feel like I could have been closer to him.
See, that
there was times where, like,
I was too immature for that shit.
I didn't spend enough time with him, and he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? And once he was gone, I'm like, damn, I'll never have that time back. But shit, he was a badass dad. Like,
Yeah, bro. It's a lot of shit, bro. Like, I definitely feel you on that, bro, because it's...
I mean, you'll never know until...
My homie's dad the other day, bro, it was crazy, because on, like, last Saturday, I was supposed to go out and shit, and I knew that I had to go see my homie's dad, because he has a concrete company. So I was going to, like, start his Facebook page and shit. So I pull up on him, and I ended up chilling with him from, like, 9 p.m. till, like, 3 in the morning, bro. He's an older man. He's like 53 years old. We're in his work truck, and I'm right there sitting with him, sipping out of a bottle. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's telling me, like, about his sons and his fucking dreams, like how he wants to fly an airplane one day. Like, bro, I'm like this man doesn't even know how to read, but he's talking about he wants to fly an airplane. Like, he has a whole concrete company and shit. I'm like, that's crazy, bro. Like he's sitting here. I could be anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? And he told me, he was like, in Spanish, he said, una amistad nunca se obliga. Una amistad nunca se obliga. Which
a friendship, you don't force a friendship.
Yes.
Like, you don't force.
So, like, all night he kept telling me, like, I know you're young. He was like, and you're sitting here listening to an old ass man. Like, when you gotta go, I understand. You know, you gotta go.
Right.
He was, I'm never gonna be the type to force you to be here without you wanting to be here. You know.
Yeah.
So I was like, he was like, that was the saying of that night. He was like, la amistad nunca se forza. So I was like, damn, like, that's how I see it now. And my dad, there's times where I know that he wants to be there with me, and it sounds fucked up, but I don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? So why force me to be there? Like,
yeah,
it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. So I, you know, like, yeah, it's like you can't force somebody to.
No. And I think you're lucky in life to meet those people, and you got to be like, those people cross your path, and like, you got to be open to that. You got to want to sit there and have that conversation, and not just be like tired thinking, oh, I'm going to go work today, and I don't even, I'm texting.
Nah, bro.
I don't want to listen to this guy. I don't want to, bro, wisdom, right?
Bro.
Goes back to chasing wisdom. Anybody has something good to offer, because they've all been through shit. He could be a custodian his whole life, but he actually went through the craziest love story you've ever imagined. And if you want love advice, talk to the custodian.
This man doesn't know how to fucking read.
Bro.
He said he knows his. This is what I found out. I think he's dyslexic, because he was telling me, he was like, I need help getting business. So I was like, I'll make you a Facebook page. But he said, I can't read. So if somebody sends me a message, I can't read that shit.
Right.
So I was like, you don't know how to read?
Yeah.
But you know how to do this fucking numbers and like, you know how many yards of concrete it takes to do this? Yeah. He's like, yeah, but he's like, I don't see. He's like, no. He's like, I know my ABCs, but I can't put them together. Like, I can't. He's like, if I try to write your name, I'll miss the O or the N. I'm like, I think you're dyslexic, bro. But he's so old, or like old school, that he doesn't, like, he's just, I don't know how to read. Right. That's how he takes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. That's crazy.
But kudos to you for listening. You know what I'm saying? And asking and listening. And I truly believe experience plus reflection of that experience, whether that experience is a relationship, reflecting on that, being like, oh, that was the red flag. That's why I should have done this, or I should have done that, or that's why she did this. Experience and reflection equal wisdom. So you see people that have only lived in their own hometown their whole life. They're only going to tell you so many stories. You got that one uncle that went crazy and went here. He's got stories for days because he's got more wisdom because he chased more experiences. Get out there and chase experiences. And whether that experience is just you in a truck with another guy because you're chasing, you're trying to help him out, but you want to listen. You want to learn.
And that shit blew my mind, bro.
You're going to...
Like when you were sitting outside the casino, you gambled all your money away.
That's an experience.
That's an experience. And you reflect on it, and you're like, you learned it. Hopefully,
bro, and I swear to God, all fucking week I was thinking about what he was telling me because he told me,
you reflected the conversation.
Bro, he told me so much shit. You
And
gotta think about
nuggets.
it. We sat there from like fucking 8 o'clock to like 3 in the morning, just me and him.
You're thinking about that conversation at night on your bed. Yeah,
bro, this girl, it's
it.
crazy. This girl came up, like we're in his backyard. This girl comes up and she's like, asking for money and shit.
Yeah,
and then she's like, he got out of the truck or whatever. And he's like, you wouldn't believe what just happened. I'm like, what? He's like, this lady just showed me her titties. And she was like, what do you want to do with me?
Oh.
And then, and then he's like, I'm not gonna lie to you, AV. He's like, my dick got hard.
Oh, real.
He's like, my dick
honest.
got hard. He's like, but he's like, let me tell you this.
Real honest.
He's like, my wife is inside the house. He's like, so I could easily, I know that she's not in the camera. My wife didn't see it. I could tell you, go ahead and go. Let me get some action. He's like, but that'd be betrayal to my wife because she's been rocking with me since I was down. I was broke. I was feeding her rice and beans. He's like, so what kind of man does that make me if I go and just stick my dick inside this random ass bitch? And I was like,
that reminds me
I
of
was like, bro, here, fucking pound it. You're a man, bro.
That reminds me of a saying my high school coach used to tell me all the time. My high school football coach, he's always like, it's easy to act cool when the lights are on. Because when the lights are on, everyone's looking. You act professional. You act like the people want to see. But how are you when the lights are off? And that reminds me, like, he had a chance where nobody was quiet. There's a corner. What kind of man are you when the lights are off? Because when the lights are on, it's real easy to act cool and who you are.
Yeah.
But how are you when the lights are off?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big
he
one.
always used to tell me that. So I used to, that's a perfect
bro,
example.
and that was some OG shit that I would have.
See, and through your life and through your journey, you met this man that taught you similar saying to what he told me in the sense that your lights are off. But you find that wisdom in your life.
In
the
a
universe
fucking
helps lead you to
backyard
certain-
in the southwest side of.
But are you listening and are you open to it? Or are you just judging this man off what he has?
Yeah.
And are you? And the minute you judge, you dismiss everything he says because
And
you're that
that's-
type of person. What type of person are you?
And that's the crazy thing, bro, because we're sitting here like drinking out of a bottle. We're not even drinking beer. Like I'm sipping, he drinks it out of a bottle, and we're talking, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, this is nuts. Like, I don't even know how the fuck I ended up here, but this is.
But I learned something.
Yeah, bro, for hours. Like,
I
he
love
put me
it.
on game about how much to charge for concrete, like all kinds of shit over just a conversation, man.
That's the universe.
So if you have your dad out there, appreciate him, but also don't feel like you're obligated to sit there with them.
Find something that you guys enjoy.
Yeah,
that
when you
can-
don't want to be there, So that's what he told me. He was like, if you're not enjoying the time, you don't have to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, because I relate to that.
Yeah, I read this thing on a magazine one time, and it motivated me to try it. But I recommend anybody to try it. But it was like talking about how this kid always got his mom a gift for Christmas, and it was always real material, and he got him a gift. And he was like, one year I actually asked her out like on a date, and I said, you know what, Mom, I'm gonna take you on a date. Like I just want to spend quality time with you. And he said it was the best gift that she ever received. They bonded close. So what I did was I told my mom one year for Christmas, I was like, Mom, instead of your gift, like how about me and you just go to the casino one night? Like we throw money on roulette. Like, I know you like slot machines, but I'll show you blackjack. We go to dinner, and me and you just do a date night. We go to dinner in the casino, bro. That night. And I truly, because more in the article, the guy talks about how open he was with his mom. Bro, that night, I was like, let's just talk about, like, how you were in high school, like, who you were. And, like, bro, we started drinking at dinner. we ended up at the casino. Like, I opened up with my mom, and she opened up with me into another level on that date night that it was just like, it was the coolest experience, and now we'll ever forever remember it. And I told her for Christmas, I'm taking you on a date. So like, I always tell people like, do that, because you spend that one night where you said, and who does that? Nobody does that. I had never done it before.
That's awesome.
And when I did it, bro, me and my mom got close. It was cool. And like, you could relate that to your dad. You could relate that to your little brother. Like, hey, instead of like a material gift, let's hang out. I want to pay for it all, but like, let's go to the movies or whatever. Bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was real cool.
That's dope.
Yeah, for sure. Man,
let's wrap it up and just chill out and fucking vibe out,
because it's been 2 hours in this bitch. So, hey, we're gonna wrap it up, man. Appreciate you for coming through, man. It's been one hell. Appreciate y'all, man.
Another one before we go, man. I remember I've quoted you on this one a couple times on the podcast, Casey. I remember we're in the back room at Fading Up Southside. If you know, you know. You said, real raw. You said if there's times when I may not be able to help you, but 2 brains on 1 problem is better than just 1 brain. So
100%.
if you have a problem, bro, come to me about it. You know, I may not have the money to fucking help you
Or
with
the
it,
answers even.
but
we'll figure it out.
Listen.
Logic says 2 brains versus 1.
Yeah. So shout out to Casey, man.
For real, man. One for the Bucks, man. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. You guys wanted to say something?
Playboy.
Shit, we're gonna wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.